Hey Dan, my friend, you made it back, huh? Did you did you get all the way home on a slow leak, or did you have to stop and do something about it? Dan traveled, I think it was something like 300 million miles to get to the concert, and he drove and had a ended up finding that he had a bolt in one of his tires. Basically, that's a big screw kind of thing, and it was. He sent a report that he traveled like 600 miles when he left the concert, and it was a slow leak. I'm not sure how to interpret that. Slow leak means the air is coming out of the tire, basically, and there comes a point where you got to do something about it. But yeah, glad Dan. I assume because you're messaging, you got home safely. I hope that's the case. You're a good guy. I enjoyed. We spent quite a bit of time together, and I enjoyed it. So, uh, thanks for taking your time to talk with me. Okay, I'm just a guy too, so that's the way it is. So I just wanted to hop on board here. 3,340 miles today, still leaking. Oh my God, you're not home yet? Yeah, Steven. It was or Steve. I don't know how you like. See, people always say, "Do you want to be Steve, Steven, whatever?" Some people say Stefan. That's all right because mine's a PH in it, but whatever. When you're a Steve, you got lots of options. Um, yes, Thomas, I'm back. I'm home. I got home this morning. No, wait a minute. Yesterday. I lost track of all sense of reality. And yeah, it was just briefly. I wanted to come on and do a live today because while I was gone, a lot of people commented on my site, and I didn't have. I tried a couple times to get on and do comments, and I was being pulled in 50 directions. So it was I couldn't even get like one comment, and I had to go do something or do whatever. So I just decided to bail on it, and I said I'll get them all when I get back. So for those that commented, the day I left and around that time, it was 4 days ago. I'm going to start at the oldest ones and work my way back up to the newest ones. So I will get to all those. I started this morning. I got to maybe a couple dozen of them, and I'll keep doing it until I get them all done. Just my personal philosophy on comments and stuff like that on my site. I believe if you take the time to write to me, I'm going to take the time to write you back. I don't use any automated responses. I don't cut and paste. I don't do any of that stuff. I figure I know how to do it. And there's also on YouTube for, I don't know if you guys can see that stuff or not, but there's a button says that when I respond to you or reply to you, there's buttons where I can pick automated things. I can pick a whole bunch of them and make a bunch of sentences if I want to. But I think that's to each their own, and it's okay for everybody else to do it. And I can understand why too, because it's a lot quicker. Okay, you can get a lot more done in a lot less time. But my personal philosophy is being old school. Is if you take your time to write me a comment, I'm going to take my time to write you back, and that's just my personal belief. Um, if I ever got to, I had 2 million people writing me comments. I don't know if I could do it then, but then right now I can do it. It takes some time, and I also try to when I answer your comments. There are some times where I make a very short. If you give me a short comment, I'll give you a short reply. Oftentimes, there's also times when I can't help myself and I go on a rant. But you guys all know that, right? So I'm going to get back to everybody. Be patient with me. I got a lot to do. You can probably imagine. I was able to film the entire first show. The second show, I didn't film any of it. And one of the reasons I did is because there are a lot of people who were filming the shows. And I figured by the time I got back home, everybody would see all of it anyway. So, and I think that's pretty much been the case. But I will be working on getting my video and cleaning it up and, trying to put it into some kind of a presentable format. At some point, I may just play the whole thing for you. But when you go to those things and you do stuff on a handheld camera, some of the video is really good, some shaky. Some of it I turn the phone sideways from vertical because it just sometimes I just feel the picture is better one way or the other. But I do that right during the concert. You don't have any other time you can do it, right? You can't stop the hey Angelina, stop the show for a minute. I got to turn my camera around. They had I wanted to do like I did in Portsmouth and do a live stream talking to people in line going in and all that kind of stuff. Well, it was a whole different environment in Vegas because everything there is huge. The hotels are huge. There's 3,000 rooms in this hotel we were staying at. And they also had a big convention of builders there in Vegas that one guy said they estimated they had about 1 million people go through there, but they were, they had over 100,000 all the time. It was craziness, and how busy it was. And then the security there for the hotel was really good. I was actually kind of happy it was good because one of the things I do is I worry about Angelina's security, kind of like the grandfather, right? And they wouldn't let us live stream. They came out and made a whole bunch of announcements about cameras and all this kind of stuff. And one of them was no live streaming, especially when we went into the theater. No live streaming. They made that very clear. And then what they said was, if you take pictures, don't use a flash, which would be common in a performance setting. You don't want people flashing and blinding Angelina up on the stage, right? So you can use your camera to take a picture, but you can't do live stream. Then they said something about you can film, but you can't film the whole thing. Well, what I did was I filmed, like her first song was Diamonds Are Forever, the James Bond thing. It came out with this beautiful James Bond, all this background stuff and stuff. It was great, really. And she came out and she looked like, Shirley Bassey in the old James Bond movie. Well, Angela looks way better than Shirley. No knock on you, Shirley, but Angelina is a classic statuesque beauty. Okay, and when she came out, she looked just like an old movie star. You've seen the pictures, but when you see it in person and you're only about 5 feet away from her, it's a whole different experience. I got to tell you. But she, where was I going with that story? Security. So I was sitting right next to James Seal, who puts out the best videos I've ever seen in my life anywhere. He ought to be out doing the Hollywood production, in my opinion. I mean, I like having him here as a friend and a YouTuber doing Angelina, and that's how he got involved in everything. But man, does he put out great quality stuff. And I was sitting right next to him, and the security guy came over to him and he was hassling him crazy, man. I don't know why. Well, he had this one little camera that was mounted on his cup holder, and I think they were somehow fascinated with that or concerned with that. So James also had a camera, but I was right next to James, and I had my camera right out here, right in front of me, like this. And the security guy is giving James a hard time. And then he looks at me, and he looks at my camera, and he looks back at me again, and then he didn't say a word to me, not one word. And I thought, why is he bothering James so much? James isn't doing anything. Nothing different than what I'm doing, except for that little camera thing. So poor James got the brunt of the security operations going on there, and that's why I just filmed the whole thing. And they came over to James a couple of times, and I had that camera right there, right in front of me, filming the whole thing. They never said anything. The only thing I did was I stopped my camera in between a couple of the songs because I wasn't sure how long my camera was going to record before it would like automatically shut off. Some of them only go for a certain length of time, and I don't know what it is on the one I got. So I didn't want to risk thinking I'm filming and then have it shut it off halfway through a song. Then you can't. Once that's gone, it's gone, right? You can't ask Angelina to start again and do the song again, right? Except for you could do it in the second show. But I didn't know if she was going to do the same songs or not. Sorry, I'm not keeping up with all the talking. Dan Burke, you're my hero. 3,300 miles and still going. Let's see. Phenomenal experience. You're healthy and back. Yes, Thomas, I got back. I'm relatively healthy anyway, but it's like sometimes I didn't sleep at all on the plane on the way back. I just couldn't. I'm still riding a high, the adrenaline high from the concert. And I had a guy sleeping to the right of me and a guy sleeping to the left of me, but I was talking the whole way home, just basically to myself for practice, apparently. So actually, the one guy, I talked to him for a long time. Then he said he wanted to put his headphones on and do some stuff on his phone and all that. I said, okay, you're excused. You can you can continue on with your life now. Of course, I talked to him about Angelina, the concert, and everything else. That's all I ever do, really. And Steve Derby, yeah, it wasn't a phenomenal experience. If that was your first time going, I might try to pull together a podcast where you guys can come and join in on a podcast and be live on screen and just share your experience with everybody. I think that might be a good way to do it, because you tell me and I tell somebody else, it always gets changed a little bit inadvertently. Let me go back to this one. Let me read a couple more here. Having coffee with my Angelina hoodie. Dan, you the man, Dan. Okay. Thomas, what was the difference between the first and second performances? Well, what it was, the first one was pretty much the whole bottom part of the theater was sold out. They ended up moving. There was only a few number of seats in the balcony sold, so they actually moved them down into the first section. So basically, the bottom part was filled up, and we'll call it sold out, for lack of a better term. And it was great because the people that were up in the balcony, I was talking to one gentleman and he said, I was up in the balcony, but then when they said you could come down here, I got in the second row because there was an available seat. He was by himself. So he got all the way up to the second row. He was really happy about that. I don't blame him. There's something about being closer to Angelina. She does exude some kind of an energy. I don't know what it is. And when you're up front like that, you'll see her in the performances if you watch closely. There's times where she's not, well, even while she's singing sometimes, she scans the crowd all the time. She's always looking at everything. She's completely aware of her entire situation. And she'll make eye contact with everybody that she can see. Keep in mind, she's got spotlights in her eyes too, so she can't always see everybody. But the ones she can see up front, she makes eye contact with pretty much everybody. And when she makes eye contact with you, you've gone to a different place. I can tell you that. There is something about her. It may just be a fan being awestruck by the celebrity, it may be that part of it. But the other part of it is that, yeah, you feel when you look in her eyes, you almost like go in there, somehow. It's like your souls connect in some kind of a weird way. And again, when I say stuff like that, I think you guys all understand. You guys are all with me, okay? Sometimes I get some comments, about creepy old man and that kind of stuff. Now, I don't want to date Angelina. It's nothing like this. She's like my granddaughter, okay? Um, and I mean, I love her. I love her like one of my own family. I really do. And why? Because I feel like I know her. I've looked at these videos all this time. What is it? Her whole family since she's been a little kid. It's a wonderful experience, really. And yeah, Steve Derby. I am assuming you got home okay too, and it was really a great experience. And I appreciate you coming down here and checking this out. Uh, Dan, you got coffee. Where's mine, buddy? You can't. You're supposed to share. What was the difference between the two concerts? So what happened in the second concert? The first concert, she did her, what she was doing. She also introduced a brand new song. I think you guys all saw it, or heard it and saw it. I hope. If you didn't, make sure you check it out. And she interacted with the audience several times. I don't know if you guys have seen that or not, but she always talks about spreading love and kindness, of course, how much she loves her audience, and you can tell she does. That's not baloney. That's true. And so in the second performance, there weren't as many people. There was still a lot of people, but it was instead of having 800 there was probably all 450, something like that. So it was a little bit more intimate crowd, and Angelina was noticeably far more relaxed in the first one, even though she seemed relaxed in the first one. When you see the side by side with the second one, it's like, yeah, she took a deep breath and she's out here to have a little more fun. So she did a lot more interaction with the audience. The the best stuff was I think it was near the beginning of the second show. Aries, Mike's daughter, the little one, was way in the back, and she said something. I don't know what she said, but you could hear her. She was way in the back of this auditorium, and you could hear her up front pretty clearly. And Angelina said, "Is that Aries?" It's like one of those. Oh, it's one of those kind of moments, right? And then Juliet was back there too, and Juliet said, "I love you, Angelina." Then Angelina said, "I love you too." I'm going to play. Her next song was a Adele cover. I forget. All I Ask, I think maybe. Anyway, I think it was an Adele cover. She said, "Yeah, your birthday's coming up, so this is dedicated to you." It's like you just shake your head and say, there's something special about these people. I got to tell you. So there was that. That was different. To answer your question, Tom, what was one of the differences? And she, in the first song, she sang Moon River, or the first concert, she sang Moon River. And the second one, she did My Funny Valentine. So that was different, a different song. The other songs were pretty much about the same in the same order. But, every time Angelina sings the same song, it's never the same song twice anyway. She changes it. And a little bit, it's never a big, lightning bolt moment. But what it is the little things. So when she gets in a smaller group, and this is what I've noticed about Angelina, because like in Portsmouth, that was a small venue, pretty small venue. When she gets people in a smaller group and she feels a little bit closer to them, she changes the whole character of the song into being something that she's singing directly to you. That song, it's not for an audience; it's for you. That's how I felt. And I've heard other people say that too. That yeah, I think she was singing directly to me. She was actually. You didn't have to. Don't think that way. It was true. Okay. So when you watch her on stage, she's interacting with the people that she can see. Like I said, it's not. She can't see all the way to the back. Matter of fact, she couldn't see Juliet back there. She was kind of looking and couldn't see because of the lights. But she's it's it's a different experience. I mean, I've looked a lot of people in my eyes over the years, but you know what? Not like that. It's just different, and it has nothing to do with wanting to date her or anything like that. That's just ludicrous. Okay, like I said before, I wouldn't let her even date somebody like me, let alone think that I was appropriate dating material for anybody her age, of course. And she deserves somebody more closer to her and somebody that she'll find that's right for her. I'm not. I can tell you, I'm not it. Okay, but anyway, let's move on. So the other that's pretty much the main difference. It was a little bit more relaxed. It was more funny moments and little moments, and the songs just I mean nobody does it like Angelina. Every single song I get this uh, emotional feeling, and some of it's joy, some of it's amazement, some of it's awe, some of it is just that it's I've heard so many people sing these songs, and Angelina just does more than they do. She puts more in it, and I'm still trying to figure that out. And the best I can come up with is some kind of resonance thing. I've been putting that out to a few people. I talked to some people in Vegas about that. I just put it out there, and I've been putting it out on some of my comments and stuff too. But it's like I don't know what it is, but I think that makes the most sense overall. But it's kind of on the weird side, so I don't know how much it would catch on, but we'll see. I just think it was a fantastic performance. So, Thomas, I hope I answered your question okay. Uh, to enjoy it better than film the whole time. Yeah. Well, that's why the first concert I filmed the whole thing. The second concert I didn't film any. Okay, so I got a balance between the two, and it is tough. It's tough to film if you're filming something. If you're looking at the camera, focusing and trying to get the best shot, and you take your eyes away for a minute, things start to drift. Not to mention Angelina can move around too, right? So I was trying to look at the camera kind of peripherally and keep it in and keep it on site, but you're wiggling around stuff too, so that you don't get the best shots. And then I'm trying to watch any, but I'm always aware that I'm doing two things. I'm not just focusing on Angelina, right? I'm also focusing on the camera at times. So it's tough. It's really tough to do that. You really do kind of miss the concert in a sense, part of it. But I was there and I didn't miss it, and I don't regret filming it. Uh, and I didn't film the second one. Part of it was because everybody else, you should have seen everybody had their cameras out. I mean, it was like half the people there were filming. So it's like, yeah, there's going to be plenty of footage. It'll be captured. It'll be saved, for posterity, if you will. So and I see by the time I got back, there's tons of videos out, which is fine. That's why we're here. We're here to promote Angelina, I hope. So that was that. So that was filming is anybody that films things like this, they are giving up their experience a little bit to do that. And kudos to them because it's not easy. And poor James is getting hauled off by security for taking pictures. I got a problem with that, but you know what? I wasn't going to say too much because I'd be with them. We'd be sitting in the jail cell with our tin cans. Let us out! Let us out! They didn't put them in jail, but they just they would ask you once to put your camera away, and if you didn't put it away quick enough, they would ask you a second time, much firmer. But they weren't really mean. They were just kind of doing their job basically. Whether we like it or not, they got a job to do too. And I appreciate that there's security there because that's important. So let's move on here. I'll try to catch a few more comments. Doug Bennett, how you doing? Hi, how are you? Hi, Steve. And we got, let's see. Oh, Doug's correcting his wording. That's all right. I know what you meant. How you doing there, Doug? Uh, let's see, Kyle. Hey, Kyle. Stefan from Romania. How you doing? How you doing, Stefan? Welcome. I'm glad you're able to stop by. It was, yeah, Kyle. I don't know if we had a chance to talk very much. I think some people I talked to a lot, and some I just a little bit, But I tried to get along. I tried to get around to pretty much everybody and try to at least shake hands and meet you. Again, this is an old fashioned thing. If you take time to comment, I'd like to go meet you and say thank you and how you doing. And if we strike up a conversation, we do. If we don't, we don't. That's all kind of a free flowing thing. So who knows? I can't really plan that kind of stuff. That has to happen organically. But Stefan, thanks so much for all the hearts and things. It was law. Was it a great soul connection? Yeah, Angelina just has that. There's just something about her where the old hippies used to say that there's an aura, right? She has an aura. She has something because there's like an energy that you feel when she comes out on stage. And I know a lot of it might be fan energy, kind of thing, but she just got something, And when she starts singing, I mean, you can feel the music, not just hear the music and see see what she's doing. But it changes too. It's not the same thing because every song might have a different. I don't know what you call it. Some have more of a like "Diamonds Are Forever" is really a big booming. Yeah, that's a showcase type of a song. And then you get songs like "Can't Help Falling in Love." I think she did too, and that's like a ballady love song. And she's able to shift those feelings into appropriate feelings for the song, which I don't know if that's unusual or not unusual, but she really does it like seamlessly. Yeah. So there's Dan Burke says, "Oh hi, how you doing, Eric Chow? Uh, Thanks for all your comments, by the way. And I think if you didn't weren't here earlier, I'm going to try to get back to everybody, sometime today and tomorrow. Okay, I got a lot of comments, so I'll be working on that and try to get that all back to everybody as soon as I can. Dan, yeah, she does make contact and it radiates love and kindness. Yes, it does. She appreciates your presence and says so, and she does that all the time too. And it really, but the other thing is, she means it. You can tell she means it. It's not like she's reading off a script because she doesn't have a script for that stuff. She walks up to that microphone closer to the audience. There's nothing to read from, and I don't think she would anyway. I think she considers, that's her to go there and speak genuinely to us. How you doing, Eric Chow? Hello, Angels. Dirk DeGraw. How you doing, Dirk? Both concerts were great. Second was a bit more polished, and AJ was more relaxed. Yeah, I think that's the polish. I think the polish was just taking off the edginess of the excitement of the moment. When you think about it, the more I thought about it, the more I took this away from the concert too. Our little girl, our little barefoot princess, just walked on the stage that Elvis performed on for 7 years. How many singers out there are going to ever in their whole career of singing the whole lifetime going to have that opportunity? And she did it. And there's been a lot of criticism about the management and why they're not pushing her and all this kind of stuff. She's there. Push her where? Where do you want to push her? She's this performance is historic in many ways, especially from a fan perspective. But she just performed her. She was on that big giant marquee with Barry Manilow. Now, Barry Manilow's been around a long time, and he's there headlining at a major Las Vegas hotel for. I think he's staying there. Might be doing a residency, and they got a lot of signs about Barry Manilow. She's on the same marquee with Barry Manilow, who's been there, done that, and been doing it for decades. Right? She's on that sign with him. Okay, tell me that's not something. Okay, and again, how many singers out there would this would be the dream culmination of their whole career to do this? Angelina's 18 and she did it already. Okay, and she followed in Elvis's footsteps, and she is aware of and loves that. Elvis was her one of her. I guess we'll call her. I'm trying to think of the right word. It's not mentor. It's more of a influence, I guess, coming up in music. And she always pays respect to Elvis. How many kids pay respect to anything? Period. Let alone some old guy that's been gone for a long time, right? And she does it out of the. She understands music so much that she knows that Elvis crafted rock and roll into a mainstream piece of work and did that. He pretty much did that by himself. She knows that too, and she respects it. And she still respects Elvis. And remember when she met with Priscilla, and then Priscilla passed away not long after that. It's like Angelina was genuinely, she was crying with that TikTok she did, and she's got a heart of gold, man. She is empathetic, and she's also very authentic and genuine. And her love of people and music and all this other stuff is genuine. It's not put on to make money and all that. That's why she doesn't really need to do the trashy stuff. Oh, I think I'm getting behind here. No, I guess we're okay. Let me catch up. Let me catch up before these all go away. You're welcome, Douglas. Okay, let's move down here. Move down here. Princess of Ruins was great. Yeah, that's Angelina's new song, and it was about the girl that she gave her shoes to when she was little. I'll tell you. You know, it's gonna make me cry just talking about it. Right? You know why? How many people spend almost their entire life? Angelina gave those shoes away when she was about 6 years old. She's 18 now. 12 years. 2/3 more. Six and six and six is what? 18. So 1/3 of her life was before she gave away her shoes, and 2/3 of her life is after her shoes. That's a big thing, right? And she still doesn't wear shoes when she performs. And as fans, it's one of the things we always look for, right? She spent some time talking about that. I think it was in the second show, actually. And she says she doesn't wear shoes and she's never going to wear shoes. Crybaby. Oh my God. The level of commitment to that, she doesn't make a big deal out of it. I mean, she talks about it at concerts, but she's not out saying, "Look, I don't wear shoes because to show off," right? No, she doesn't do that. She knows we know, and she just spent a moment to say that I'm never going to wear shoes. Who does that their whole life? That's quite a lot. It's one thing to raise money for charity. That's great too, but then to have this visual reminder your whole life and stick with it. She could have dropped that at any time, and she might drop it in the future. I don't know, but she's saying she's not gonna, and I believe her. Why wouldn't I? She's done everything she said she was going to do, and more. Let me read some of these other ones here. Yeah, it's so tough. When you come back, it's kind of hard to imagine. Hi, Alan Beaumont. Yeah, it was great. You can't really, I kind of liken when you go to an Angelina. This is a bad analogy, but I think it's kind of apt too. Have you ever had like a steak or some kind of food dish that was so good, the best you ever had of whatever it was, right? I like to use the example of a steak because you can't really tell somebody how good something is. They have to experience it for themselves. I mean, you can tell them, oh, the steak, it was sizzling on the grill. I could smell it. And it was a perfectly well done steak the way I like it, and I bit into it. It was so tender and juicy. You can try to do your very best to describe the steak and maybe get people's mouth watering. But man, it ain't nothing like biting into that steak. That's the only thing that makes it, the whole experience come to fruition. And if you don't bite the steak, then you don't know, and there's no way to really get that over to somebody. So yeah, the shows were great, and her genuineness and her kindness, her love of the audience, her love of herself, her family, that's all there. Her family is great too, by the way. Sarah, Grandma, Uncle Mike, even, and Juliet. They were there. They're all talking to the fans. I mean, they're not all the time out there, but they got things to do too. But they were out there. They walking through the lobby. Somebody says hello. They stop. They interact with you. It's not like they're rushing them off to get away from the fans, right? And they're just genuine people. And when they talk to you, they're not giving you lip service. What they're doing is they're looking you in the eyes. They're engaging you for whatever few moments that they have with you, and they ask you questions, and you give an answer, and then they might respond back because of whatever answer you gave them. And they seem like they're very interested, and I think they really are. Can you imagine that? Random strangers walking up, and you spend all kinds of time with them just to kind of get the give them some attention. You're there for them. They're there, and they give you attention, right? Oh, it's unbelievable. Uh, let's see. Let's slide down here a little bit. Then we got. I loved how she started the show with a James Bond song. You know how many times people have said she ought to be doing a James Bond song, and I always think of this song, right? She comes out there and she killed that. Not only that, it had the entire feel of a James Bond movie and song right from the beginning. Because this show, being here in Vegas, they know how to do things. They know how to put on a production. And there was the stuff in the background, the big screen in the background playing the various scenes and movies and so on. That was there. We had the lighting was all there, all kinds of different lighting, and just it was her voice is spectacular enough. But when you add all these little bonus things, It really made the whole moment. That felt like a James Bond movie right from the beginning when she started singing. It was like, yeah, hope that the people, the James Bond people, someday say, you know what, we should contact her about the next movie coming up. Give Angelina a chance to write a song. That's what a lot of happens with a lot of these things is they basically try to get a performer that's going to. Some people they sing the songs from these movies. They get more famous from that. Like Shirley Bassey might have been one of them. I'm not saying she was more famous, but she was. You know, at the time she did that song, I think she might have been maybe in the midst of her career, so it just gave a little boost, right? And some of the other people that have done it, there was one I can't remember the name, which one it was, but there was one singer that didn't was an up and comer, and then after that it's like whoo, through the roof, right? And do we do it because we want Angelina to go through the roof? I don't know that we want Angelina to go through the roof like bang, but if she ever gets the opportunity to do something big like that, she will go through the roof, of course. Why wouldn't she, right? So if she got a chance to write a James Bond song and perform the James Bond song, tell me that ain't something. Let me see here. Going slow, going fast, no rush. Yeah, I think her family. Some people have criticized the management. I understand. I sometimes get impatient too, but the thing I got to do, I have to trust them. They've done, as far as I can tell, they've done everything right up till now. I got no reason to think they can't continue it. Remember that things like getting Angelina's name out there, you hire people to do that. You hire professional publicists to do things. It isn't Uncle Mike and Aunt Mary putting up posters on telephone poles, okay? It's you hire professionals to do that, and that's what they've been doing, I think. And now this step in Vegas, that was a full production stuff. Everything was in place because they know how to do it in Vegas, right? You got to go. Sometimes you got to go where the action is. Portsmouth was a great concert. It was my first time seeing her live, and it took me forever to get over it. 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I was up in the clouds, but it was very simple. Black. There was a black background. You couldn't see much on the stage, and there wasn't any extra lighting and that kind of stuff. Angelina doesn't need that, to make it put on a great performance. But then when you get to Vegas, man, it's Vegas, baby, and I'm telling you what, they put on a whole production. Plus, she had the background singers, extra instruments. We had a brass section. She had a lot more stuff, and all that does is enhance her ability to perform, and it just makes a bigger production and a bigger show out of it than her just with her and a mic singing whatever song. We know she can just walk through a parking garage with her cell phone and knock you right off your feet with part of a song, right? We know that. We've all experienced it. But then you do that. Now this is a show. This is a production. This is a performance. Then this is Vegas. Okay, welcome to Vegas. And that's why I always said about Elvis that Elvis was as much a performer and an entertainer as he was a singer. Maybe that came from Vegas, actually. Maybe that's how he got to be more like that. I don't know. Because he could croon, too. He could sit there and do a love song, just him and a guitar and whatever. So, he could do all of it, too. Angelina's quite similar in that regard. So let me catch up with comments here. Yeah, Kyle, I agree. I love the way she started the show, too. That set it off on a great note. And, yeah, I said, Gert, thanks, Gert. Thanks for chiming in. You say you're proud of her. Me, too. For her to walk in the same steps as Elvis, that's huge. I don't think enough people are paying attention to that. She just performed on a stage that Elvis performed on for 7 years. She just did that at 18 years old, not well known, but she did it. And I'll tell you what, for those of us that were there, we witnessed an iconic moment in history. Angelina will be huge. She will be an icon. And we saw her stepping onto the icon stage, if you will. And we were just fortunate to be there in that moment in time. And, I had some comments that, her song choice is getting stale because she does the same ones. I don't care. I listen to some of her songs over and over again on loop just because I like them so much, and maybe it's just certain people don't like all that repetition. I don't know. And actually, as Angelina gets to be a celebrity, you get higher up the hierarchy of known celebrities, there's people that your fans expect you to sing certain songs because it's who you are, right? It's like Elvis with Suspicious Minds and some of his other songs. They want to hear those songs. That's why they came there. So you got to keep that in mind too. Now Angelina doesn't have that, isn't quite in that pocket yet, but she will be someday. Oh, let's see. Hey, Gert, you're welcome. Gert says, thanks for everything you do to promote her, Steve. Well, you're welcome, Gert, but I'm doing it because I love Angelina and the world needs to hear her. And I believe her message of love and kindness will permeate throughout whatever audience she can gather. And I think it'll help put the world on a better footing. That's what I think. The whole world, not just, the few, the fans that she has, but everybody. And we need that. And I think Angelina is the one to do it. I may be wrong, but I don't know. Who knows? That's good. Double D. Let's see. Oli, did I not see you there? Thanks, Double D. Okay, welcome. A steak. Troy, Archangel. A steak? Yeah, I'm just saying, trying to describe something to people. I'm just using that as the thing that I was going to draw an analogy or comparable, but it's really not comparable. I know. Sometimes when you do stream of consciousness talking, sometimes you don't know what you're going to get, especially from people like me. Uh, yeah, Douglas, Double D, we do love Angelina, all of us. Hi, Troy Archangel. Uh, did she do a million miles? Yes, she did. Love from Norway. Yeah, love back at you, Mister. I don't know how to say your name. Kel Nesset. Yeah, she did. She did a million miles, and love back to you in Norway too. I love to get to Norway because I, I never had Norway on my bucket list of places to visit, but seeing how Angelina's from there, now I feel like I got to go. I got to get back to. I want to see the roots. Douglas Bennett. Hello, Kyle. Gert. Hey, Kyle. Yes, she did. Dan Burke is answering back too. Yes, she did a million miles. Kel, I filmed the entire first show, so I'm gonna be editing that and getting it out in some format that you guys can watch it. Okay, so I'm quite certain I've got all the songs from the first show, so I'll have that out. I did not film anything from the second show. The things that were different was in the first show she did Moon River, and she changed out that for Funny Valentine. That's one difference. But of course, every time she sings a song, it's different from the previous time. Like I said, I think in the second show, because there was a smaller audience, I think she brought it in more, made it, to me, I thought she did it a little bit more personal, if you will. Not that they're not all personal. Yeah, Douglas says it's all amazing, man. I'll tell you, like I said, I've been around for a long time, man. I've seen a lot of things, been a lot of places, done a lot of things, and nobody has ever affected me like Angelina. I've never been a fan before. I've never had a YouTube channel before. I would never join a fan club or go, to see somebody for things. I wouldn't do that. I just didn't wasn't that interested. And then here comes Angelina later on in life, and that it's all changed now. Dirk DeGraw. Yeah, I wish I would, sometimes things work out, sometimes they don't. How you doing, Bob? Bob Palmer. So the reason I came on today was I just wanted to explain to everybody. I just got back. I got back yesterday. Um, I think it was yesterday. What's today? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it might have been yesterday. And I didn't sleep on the plane and coming back, and I was tired and blah blah blah. So anyway, I of course my dogs were so happy to see me. We had to wrestle around for at least a few minutes, just to get the dog pack back together again. And I tried. I was gonna live stream that, and I had a terrible time trying to get the. I have a new piece of equipment for about like a body cam thing, and I got it on there. I got it all set up around my neck. It's all ready to go. I hit the camera for doing the live stream, and somehow I hit the thing to turn the screen around, so it's live streaming my chest. Okay, yeah, you guys don't want to see that. I couldn't get it to go back the other way. I don't know what was going on. I had to take it out of the thing. But meanwhile, the dogs are going crazy because they know I'm home, right? I'm in the garage and they hear me out there. I think they're having heart attacks and they're making all these weird noises. So I wanted to do it, but I eventually said, you know what? I'm not putting my dogs through this anymore. I got to get in there. Plus me too, you know. So we just went and did a dog pile welcome home party, and today they're back to pretty much normal. I could film that any day, and it's almost the same thing anyway. So if I just drive around the block and come back, they just like I was gone forever. And of course, they I usually take them with me, so they are disappointed they can't go if I go somewhere and don't take them. So yeah, Doug, great stuff. Kyle, we didn't meet. Oh, sorry about that, buddy. I don't know how come. I tried to get around to everybody, but I don't know who I got to see, so I'm just guessing. Uh, man, I'm sorry. I don't like missing people. I feel I'm disappointed in myself because you guys spend the time to react. You make comments and such. I just feel like I feel like I owe you. I owe you for that. You taking the time to do that. Just an old fashioned mentality where somebody gives you something you want to reciprocate in some way. Bob Palmer, home safe and sound. Awesome. Love her new song, Princess of Ruins. Yeah, well, she talked about that. She's going to be shoeless. I think the indication was forever, and I believe her during performances. It's not during everything else, just during performances. Did Rob Christie play guitar on stage? I saw a picture. I don't know if he was actually playing the guitar, but he was pretending like he was playing the guitar, and he may have been. I don't know. I couldn't tell. But he also danced. They were doing the guitarists were all down there, kind of dancing like in a circle thing, and he joined in with them at both shows. And he seems like he came out and he was out to the afterwards. He was out front lobby in the bar area, and he was talking with fans. He's a regular guy, man. He's not some big celebrity, untouchable, and you can't get near him, right? The band members were out there too. They came out and they were engaged, and anybody that wanted to come talk to him, they were engaged with him, And it was really nice to hear. Somebody asked him, "Are you guys going to be her regular band when she's in the area here?" And he said, "We sure hope so." So we'll see how that goes, but it's hard to say. So was Rob Christie actually playing the guitar? I really couldn't tell. I was watching carefully because I wanted to hear if, when he's plucking the strings or strumming, I wanted to hear if there was some music coordinate with those hand motions, and I really couldn't tell because the other guys, there was two other guitarists playing, or maybe even three. So it was kind of hard to differentiate, but that's all right. It doesn't matter if he's playing or not. If he wasn't, he was playing a role, but he seemed like a really great guy. Double D, you the man. So Troy Archangel, to be honest, saw a lot of fans there are not impressed. She's losing fans mostly because of the way she changed the style of her singing lately. Someone said, and I see it too, a lot of mistakes. Well, that's interesting. I don't see it, but I might not even want to see it. So maybe that would be why. Um, Anytime, if anybody thinks they're going to go to a live show and get perfection, then their standards are a little too high. I think what makes a live show is that it's raw. When you're up there live, oh, there was a moment. What? Oh yeah, she forgot in the first. I think it was the first show. She 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 didn't come in on the music on time. She said I was supposed to sing and so the band had to roll around back so she could come in, right? And it was just funny. It was cute actually. You know that to me was a special moment in the concert. And some people call it a mistake and we're disappointed. No, I'm not disappointed. That makes the whole thing better. I think that she's a genuine article, man. And everybody makes mistakes. So yeah, I give her a lot of leeway only because I'm a biased fan and I'm like her grandfather, so she can't do anything wrong as far as I'm concerned. Uh, Whatever she does, there's it's either cute or endearing, or it was supposed to be that way anyway, just by the nature of things. That's my feeling, and but everybody's entitled to their opinion, and I understand that there's some people. I think some people's expectations of different performances is a little elevated. It's not a studio level production. There's too many moving pieces that they had expected to be perfect. Uh, how we doing, RW? And let's see here. Hello, 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 RW. The first show would be wonderful. Bob Palmer, the first show would be wonderful, Steve. Hello. Yeah, I for those that just came in, I videoed the entire first show, the whole thing. And so I got that. I did not video any of the second show, and the reason I didn't do it was twofold. One is everybody was videoing everything, so I'm sure there's gonna be plenty of footage out there from all different angles and perspectives. There was that, and when you videotape stuff, you're actually missing the performance in a way because you can't focus on the camera and the performer at the same time. It's not possible because while you're looking at the performer, you're checking back at the camera all the time. While you're looking at the camera, you want to go see the show. So you're kind of constantly, your focus is always this way or that way. Okay, we got James Steele coming in here on a phone call. I didn't know he was going to call me, but let's get him online here. James. James, can you hear me?
Hey, what's up?
I'm live, I'm live streaming right now. So you're on the phone.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me okay?
I hear you.
I'm live streaming.
Yes, I can.
James, I'm live streaming right now, So you're vocally on the live stream.
Oh, well, that's awesome.
So,
well, that gives me an amazing opportunity
okay,
to tell everybody that Hero from the 7 p.m. show that I just got done producing is going to be premiering within the hour, and I think it is something special.
There you go. So James, I know James and I had some talk about that last night, and we had to go through some mechanics. But
yes, we did.
So we were up for a while getting that done. So anyway, so James made a video, and we all know James's quality of his videos is spectacular. And so he did Hero from the concert. Well, she did it in both concerts, but she did Hero from that. So he's got a video ready. He's going to premiere in less than an hour. So that's great. So you guys can run over and check that out too. We all know that James puts out Hollywood. Not forget that. Better than Hollywood production level stuff. So it ought to be awesome. So I don't know if there's anything else that you call. I wasn't expecting your call, but I'm glad you did. Thanks for telling us about the premiere.
Well,
yeah.
Since you're live, I'll let you stay live, and I'll get out of here. So,
okay.
That's what I wanted to tell you. Now I told everybody.
Now you told everybody, yeah. Go. Well, that's great. That's great news, James. We'll all be watching that. We'll all be watching with bated breath, or stinky breath, or something. Whatever kind of breath. Okay.
All right.
Talk to you later, James.
I'll tell you what.
What?
I'll go ahead and drop it right now.
Okay.
And an immediate premiere, and you can watch live with everyone else. How about that?
If I can figure out how to manage that, I'll do it. Okay.
Well, you can watch it.
On what? My phone?
Sure. Why not?
Oh, okay. Maybe I can do that. I'll see if I can figure that out. I think
give it a try anyway.
There might be a way to include it in on the live stream somehow, like a split screen, but I don't know how to do it. So.
Good thing is everybody else, hopefully everyone has tabs and knows how to use them.
Yeah, well, if they do, they can give me lessons, okay?
Yeah.
All right, James.
It took us, 2 or 3 hours to do something last night that should have taken about 10 minutes?
James and I were struggling last night. We were trying to get parts of the concert, moving it back and forth. And I'll tell you what, I genuinely feel sometimes like a monkey in a cage at the zoo, and all of a sudden they stick me in the space shuttle and I got to drive it. Okay, that's how I feel like sometimes. I don't have I'm not at the skill level where I need to be yet, but I'll get there. There's another weird analogy. I just did a weird analogy about a steak. So it's it's one of Steve Callaway's weird analogy day. All right, James, we'll see you. Thanks for the information.
I am hitting the button right now.
Okay. So I got to go get it. So I think I'll get offline and see if I can find it. Okay.
All right. Later.
Thank you. Bye bye. All right. So that's a piece of good news. 47 people are here. Okay. Oh, great. I was at Michael Asher. I was at Portness, and I wish so much to make it to Westgate. I especially wanted to see your stage growth. Oh, Michael, that's one of the great points that I've been trying to make. I gotta go find James's thing here. Hang on a second. James Seal YouTube video premiere. So let me go back to that. What I was just saying. Her Angelina's the difference. Okay, hang on. I think it's right there. All right, is that it? I don't know if this is the live or not. Oh man. Okay, this isn't much fun for you guys to watch me figure this out, but I was trying to get James's thing here right up here right now, and I never know what's what. Bear with me for just a second. Okay, well, let's move on. I got to move on here quickly. Can't wait to see where she goes from here. So, her growth from Portsmouth to Vegas, and it's only been what, how many months? 5, 6, 7 months, something like that, was extraordinary. I think part of the growth that we saw was because Vegas knows how to put on a show. That's what they do. That's the whole place is built for that. And you can imagine Barry Manilow's playing on that stage. He's under contract there for a period of time. He might be living there too. Barry Manilow. Now, maybe not all of us would go see Barry Manilow, but everybody knows his name. Everybody knows he's a singer, right? So he's a famous singer, and I think her growth just from Portsmouth to here in only a few months is extraordinary. Everything. It's not just her singing. Her singing is always spectacular, but it seems like it gets richer somehow. You're more mature, which I mean, naturally she's getting a little older, but she's not getting that much older in 8 months. And her demeanor on stage, she seems more comfortable, which she's always been. Sometimes it seems like she's a little awkward here and there, but it's also I think that's endearing because that means that's real, that's genuine. It's not a script, it's not a practice rehearsed part of the show. It's her talking to her audience, and that's free flow. And when you free flow, you get what you get. You're going to get stumbles and mistakes, a lot of times. Bob Palmer is responding, losing fans, BS. Okay. So let's go down to Dirk DeGraw, second show. Juliet, Uncle Mike, and Aries and Athena were all at the table near the back. I got to speak with them, and they were all very lovely people. Yeah, Dirk. I mean, that's the other thing. The whole family, they're just so nice, Kyle, Arichel, I agree, Robert. Okay, Doug. Let me scoot down through here. Yeah, Troy. Yeah, I was talking to some people that had the same comments. Okay, so I understand what you're saying. I also understand the comments, and I can see where they come from. The thing that I keep in mind is that I'm a carpenter. Okay, I give me some blueprints and some 2x4s and some nails and a hammer, and I'll go build you a house. Okay, I'm a carpenter. I am not in the music industry in any way, shape, or form. I'm just a fan. So, how come I can't find James's? Oh boy. I'm trying to do two things at once, and that's usually a disaster, typically. Maybe it's this. Oh, that says 1 day ago, so that can't be it. Okay. I can't find it. Okay, so I think I'm gonna stop looking for now. I'll find it later, but I'll watch it as soon as I get the opportunity here. Is it under live or playlist, shorts, videos, home? I don't see it any place. So let me go back to what I was saying. So I just gather, I read all the comments and I just gather information. And there are some people that feel that way. That I agree that's out there. Okay. And the legitimacy to that, in my opinion, well, first of all, it's an opinion. So I don't really have a right to say it's right, wrong, or indifferent. Everybody's entitled to have an opinion. And I believe opinions are gathered. They come about because people gather their own information or their own thoughts and they try to articulate them. So I don't walk in anybody else's shoes other than my own. So I don't know what they've seen, heard, saw, or how they feel about it. The uh the but what I try to do is I'm not an analyst of this kind of stuff. I don't know it well enough to be an analyst. But I do know things like this, big things like rising singers. They during the course of their rise, they take on, I guess we'll call them professional assistants in all kinds of specialized areas. For example, publicists. You get somebody that puts you on TV shows and does all that stuff. I don't know whether she has a publicist. That's not Republic Records' job, and it's also uh, Mike. Uncle Mike is the manager. It might be his job to find a publicist if they decide they want one or need one. I don't know, but it's not his job to be the publicist. That's a whole separate category of expertise. I think this is my opinion. Okay, it's like when you build a house. There's carpenters to build the frame of the house, but then you got to have plumbers to do the plumbing, electricians to do the electrical work. Sometimes you got specialized people, like some people do roofing, some people do drywall, insulation. It's not just, hey, you messed up that part of the house. There's so many people involved. You don't know, right? So anyway, yeah, Dick DeGraw said he loved when Aries was screeching out. Yeah, I did too. I thought that was a really great moment. James Seal is in the house. James Seal, we already kind of knew that. Uh, he's got a live. He just put out a live thing, and it's the song "Hero" that was in the show. I got to go find it because I don't want to miss it. Okay, I don't know why I can't find it. I'm a helpless person on this stuff. Let's see, Michael Asher at Troy. I think a lot of fans still want the 10-year-old AJ from where she has more than one style. Personally, I'm in for the long game. Yeah, that's a good point too, Michael. I think that uh, sometimes when she was so young, she was so great for being so young. There's another level of fascination or awestruckness or whatever you want to call it, that she was able to sing that stuff. Now her age and her voice are kind of catching up to each other, closer together, even though she still has a very mature sounding voice. And yeah, so now there's the only amazement factor now is how well she sings the song. And I think that's all still there in spades. I think that everything she does, she puts an extra touch on it. She opened the show with that "Diamonds Are Forever" from James Bond. That, to me, that could have been put. They could have took that footage from that concert, put it right on the screen with James Bond. That's what I think. And the only thing that was missing in the video that was behind her was in James Bond. They always got the guns and naked ladies and stuff floating around in silhouette. It wasn't that, but it was, the level of production was right there. Yeah, Doug and Ken are both looking forward to your stuff, James. Everybody's looking forward to all your stuff. Carrie Thomas, why didn't she get a standing ovation after every song? Well, let me say this. In the first concert, I was in the first row. I didn't stand for every song, not for any particular reason, but I did stand for probably well over half the songs. Okay, so part of the reason I didn't stand for every song was because I noticed that I was the only one standing for many of the songs, and I didn't want to block the people's view behind me, because when you stand up, you're blocking somebody's view. And so I chose, there were several songs I know I was the only one standing. That's okay. I know Doug down the road from me was standing for almost all the songs too. And uh, I wanted to be a little bit courteous to those behind me. Now there were standing ovations for many of the songs, but not all of them. And that was the same in Portsmouth too. I think a lot of people just don't. They're just bashful about getting up and standing there. A couple of songs I wanted to get up and go up front and dance, but I knew the security guys would come hauling out of there, so I didn't want to do it. They were pretty tight, them security guys, which is a good thing. Uh, let's see. Plus, I was filming everything, Carrie. So I had a camera in one hand, so it's kind of even hard to clap. Okay, and then if I put the camera down, then by the time I get it on my pocket, I'm going to miss part of the next song that's going to start up, right? So I was trying to catch the whole concert, so I was a little bit restricted in what I could do. But oh, thanks, Doug. Thanks for your comments saying a great hosting. I don't know if it's great or not. I'm just on here doing whatever. So let's see. Rob was playing at some points, especially during. Yeah, Kyle Fincher says Rob was playing at some points, and especially during Suspicious Minds. Yeah, I really couldn't tell exactly if he was playing it or just air guitar. It was hard for me to tell. I don't know if it makes any difference. He was out there putting in an effort to, I guess lend credibility to Angelina, I suppose. Hasn't posted yet. Give it a few minutes to hit the system. Oh, James's thing hasn't posted yet. Maybe that's why I can't get it. Hey, I like there's a reason other than me. So, yeah, I think overall, Rob Christie's is a good asset. I mean, he's the one that I think's really been just kind of steering the Republic Record stuff to get her own studio. They built her own studio, and Michael, yeah, good observation that her confidence levels are up. I believe so. She's getting more and more comfortable on stage, and when she's talking, I think somebody must have said to her, "You keep saying the thing, you keep repeating yourself." Well, she addressed that. I think in Portsmouth she said, "I love you guys." She must have said it, 50 times. Okay, and as far as I'm concerned, she can't say it enough. I love you back, Angelina, and I'll repeat it twice as much as you repeat to me, right? So what she did was she noticeably, this is the first time I've said this because I don't know why I didn't think of it, but she noticeably uh, didn't repeat that as much. However, she did talk a little more often, and it was in every time she talked. So she repeated it, but spread out over time. Okay. And the other thing she did when she talked about the shoes, she's not ever going to wear shoes during her performances. That makes me emotional. I don't know why. Her steadfastness and her integrity are off the chart. Um, but yeah, she when she's talking to you about that kind of a thing, you can see in her face uh, her commitment to that. She's dedicated to that, and you just know she's never gonna wear shoes on stage because she said it. That's all she's got to do is say it, and that's the way it is. Dirk says that her confidence level was higher in the second concert. I think it was that. I also think because it was a smaller crowd, she was way more. It was a more intimate experience. It wasn't so it wasn't so overwhelming for her, and I think that might have been part of it too. Because I think when it gets a smaller crowd, she draws in with the crowd. That's what I think. Rather than she's performing for an audience, now she's performing for a bunch of individuals. Okay, I think she tries to always give that to us. Oh, James forgot to hit save. Countdown should be running. Okay, I don't know how I can. So I went to James's site. Can anybody tell me how to get to the video from there? Or it's going to pop up under For You, maybe. Or videos. Maybe videos? Probably videos. Okay, I got it on videos now. Okay. Talking to myself. Yeah, Doug. Double D. James Steele, Steve, you couldn't find it because I forgot to hit save. Thank goodness there's a reason, James. Thanks for providing me cover here. Okay. Uh, Steve, James' premiere video popped up. It took several minutes to get on YouTube. Okay. How come I don't see it? Okay. Somebody help me. Okay. I'm on James's site and I got it on the video setting. Maybe I should go to home. Nope. So I don't see it there. Videos, I don't see it. It's not a short, but it's not there either. Playlist, it wouldn't be there anyway. Community? Is it on community? Nope. That's an older one. I don't see it yet. So if anybody has the specific instructions to help an old guy, let me know. So let's see. Well, Angelina always promotes positivity. Some people just cannot help themselves, but find Eric Chow. I'm having dinner at my sister's house in a while, a couple hours, and most of her life she's been one of the she's like that. You know, she's getting better though because I keep fighting the negativity with positivity. So I think sometimes she's seeing the light at times. We'll see. Hey Troy, don't feel like we're attacking you, buddy. It's you're entitled to your opinion. Plus, you've observed this, and so have I. I mean, I like I told you, I probably had three separate people come to me with that a similar uh, observations, and I can see where it's coming from too. You know, it's not that I don't see it. It's just that when I'm talking about something, I have I can couch things in that area, or I can try to move it to the positive. And my nature is to always try to move things to the positive. That's just me. I've always been that way, by the way. It's not something I do just for Angelina, but I try to be careful what I say when it comes to that kind of stuff because your observations are your observations. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, bringing it up's nothing wrong with it either because then sometimes that might create conversation. I think that everybody that responds to that should be just careful what you say and understand everybody has the right to present their observations, in my opinion. And doesn't mean we have to like it or agree with it, but we also then when we answer back, just kind of keep in mind that Angelina wants us to spread love and kindness. So here's an opportunity to test what you're made of. uh, I don't want to be. What do you? Oh, I got a blurry camera now. How'd that happen? So, hey, to each their own, right? I don't want to create a war zone here. I just want to. Hopefully, everybody has feels free to say whatever they want to say. Uh, Let me tell you that a couple of people I talked to that were had comments like that. One of them was that her playlist is getting stale. Uh, that she does the same songs over and over again, like Whitney Houston, the Adele cover and all that. Name me a performer that has all new stuff every time they perform. Zip. There isn't any of them. Okay. Barry Manilow has been playing there for how long? He probably freshens it up on occasion, but if he's going to be there for 4 years, I can guarantee you that the concerts are all the same. Maybe he changes them up. He's got maybe a repertoire of four concerts, and he'll do this one, then that one, then mix it up a little bit. But you know, keep in mind the performer too. How would you like to have to go perform different stuff all the time every night of the week, right? I mean, I don't know how Angelina keeps the lyrics even partway straight, to be honest with you. All the lyrics to all the songs, and some of the songs have similar names and similar lyrics. And it's like, wow, how do you keep that straight? I don't know how you do it. I can't even keep anything straight, let alone a whole bunch of stuff. RW says the video looks and sounds good, and I haven't even found it yet. Okay, hang on. Oh, now it's gone. All right. So I'm on the homepage of James Seal. There's home. It's not there. There's videos. It's not there. It's not going to be on shorts. It's not going to be on playlists. It's not going to be on community. I don't think it might be on community, but it's not there. I don't know. I just can't. I just can't. I just am inept. Apparently. Sorry, I'm not talking, guys. I'm trying to find. I can't talk and look for videos at the same time. I can barely do one thing at a time. Here, I got it now. Okay, guys, let's take a couple minutes and watch this. I don't know how I can do it. This is going to be tough.
Oh my God. We all got a hero, right?
Yes.
There's a hero. If you look inside your heart, you don't have to be afraid how much you are. There's an answer. If you reach into yourself, the sound that you know makes a way. And then the hero comes along with the strength to carry out. And you can't squeeze the sound, and you know you can't survive. So when you feel like love is gone, look inside your every storm, and you'll finally see the truth that evil lies in you. It's a love you face the world alone. No one reaches out hey, for you to yeah. You can find love, the one within yourself, right within yourself, won't disappear. You found the love with the strength to carry on. And you can't see the other side, and you know you can't survive. So when you feel like love is gone, look inside your every soul, and you finally see the truth that evil lies in you.
Oh boy. So I'm crying now. Thanks, James. James, thanks for putting that together, buddy. That looks beautiful. I like all the little uh, two Angelinas, up there. Oh boy, so that got me crying. You know why? It's freaking beautiful, and there's whatever. Okay, let me go on here. Hang on. So we got to see the video, and that song was really great. And I think we did do a standing ovation or something. A lot of people got up for that one. Made me cry there, made me cry this time too. And the I guess the other elements that you don't always get is the her connection with her audience. Although not everybody gets that connection because you're too far away. I guess I don't know how to explain it. If she can't see you, I don't know if you get that energy flow. I guess that's maybe where it comes from, and that's not usual or normal. I don't think. Okay, it may be because I don't go. I've never been to a any other concert ever my whole life where I was like right up front and able to get that one-on-one eye contact and stuff. But well, I should take that back. Way back in it was either late '60s or early '70s, I went to a Styx concert in Syracuse, and they didn't have assigned seating, so it was just everybody, whoever could pile up to the front the closest, got up front the closest. Okay, so that was the only time, and I got I went way up front, then I got out of there because it was a little crazy, and I'm not. Uh, I got bad news for a lot of you. Some of you probably will think I'm a crazy man, but I have never smoked anything in my life. Okay, I had never. Only one thing, one time, goldenrod. And if you don't know what that is, I'll tell the story sometime, but not right now. We're a little busy. Okay. uh, so yeah, we're getting a lot of comments about everything. I think that I'm trying to keep up here. Yeah, James says there's going to be more to go. And James, I want to thank you again for the video. Great job as always. And you just add. You always add to things. You never take away. Okay. And I think you know what I mean by that. You add specialness to the videos that you do. And it's easy to take away from a performance by trying to do too much. You do the right amount. I guess that's part of it too. That's what I love about Angelina. She stays true and genuine. This is from Troy. What keeps me a fan forever? I hope she stays this way. Yeah, Troy. I think that's really a good point. That she is true and genuine, and when you see her live, there's no doubt about it. Her whole family is the same way, all of them. So what is she, the outlier? She's going to be a fake? No, they've raised her to be that way, and they're all that way too, and that's why they also lead by example, right? So when you see her family, man, they are just genuine, sweet, loving, kind. They make you feel. Who told me the story? Oh, Bob Palmer. Bob, if you're still on there, I don't know if I could get you on here live somehow, Bob. If you're still there, I'd love you to tell that story about when you went to the meet and greet. That would be such a great story to tell. And yeah, Larry, it was great talking to you there too, man. We had to spend some time together. I like that. Doug says, come as a guest and leave as a family. Absolutely. Bernie Scott, incredible. James. Yeah, James did a great job. Larry says, it was a pleasure meeting you in Vegas, and I'm glad you made it home safe. Keep doing what you're doing to promote AJ and see you at the next concert. Yeah, I hope so. Angelina Jordan fans worldwide rule the world. Yeah, they did. They do, and they're going to, I think, for a while. Paul Wagner, Bernie Scott, that's the point why I do not worry at all. Every time there's a flaw, it's recognized an improvement. Yeah, that's all true. Excellent band. The band was really good. Actually, keep in mind we're in Vegas, right? They know how to entertain people. They know how to put on a production. They know how to do all this stuff. So the best of everything that could be had is there. They know how to do it. They've been doing it. That's what they do all the time. So Yeah, you're on the stage that Barry Manilow's playing on contractually. You're on that stage, and yeah, this is top notch. This is as high as it gets for entertainment, I think. And then you got of course Elvis was there too. So this is what they do. They built that place to entertain people, and then they probably over the years they've upgraded equipment and kept things current. So Michael Asher. Yeah, that's a great point, Michael. You say, James, I know you're an engineer, but don't sell yourself short on an artistic as an artist. This is incredible, man. Damn near moved me to tears. Hey, Mike, it made me cry, so I got you beat. And I don't even like this. How does she do that? Because the message is good in the song, I think, but it doesn't matter. I think if she, remember, was it? Uh, I don't even remember the guy. Never. I guess I should not use this as an analogy, but it was one of those shows. I think it was American Idol, and I don't remember the guy's name. Was it Randy Jackson maybe or something? It seemed like every time there was a good singer, he'd say the same thing. You could sing the phone book and it would be good. Well, here's a case where that actually does apply. Angelina could just say a word, it doesn't matter, and probably get me emotional because of the beauty of her voice, the genuineness of her nature and her character, and all that comes into play when it hits you in the heart. It hits you in the heart, man. It doesn't matter what she says. James says, you are welcome. James, thank you so much for putting that out here. And I'm sorry I did it with a handheld camera holding up to the webcam. I got it pretty good, though. It wasn't too bad. Okay. Yeah, Troy, good comments, man. I love those comments. She's a genius. I believe that she is. So amazing. Great stuff. That's right, Paul. She works so hard, and that would break my heart to criticize her. Yeah, I know. I can't do it either. It's like when you have like a kid or a granddaughter to do something wrong. Sometimes you know you ought to do something about it. You ought to scold them or whatever. And it's like, nah, I'm letting it go. Especially as a grandparent, you have that's a great part about being a grandparent. I'm not a grandparent. I wish I was, but that's the great part that grandparents always say. I can spoil them rotten and then send them home. Let the parents deal with the aftermath, right? So yeah, that's how it is. Eye contact is very powerful. It absolutely is. I expect that puts to shame anything out there right now. You tell me. I have been stuck in the editor for 12 hours. That's ever since we talked last night, James. Yeah. I mean, it's Bernie Scott says, James, you are the best. You are the best. Incredible work. Absolutely, absolutely. When James and I first got to know each other, it was because of Portsmouth and Angelina, and actually James started. Many of you probably know this. James started his whole channel basically to promote Angelina and work on this the flowers and the stuff up in Portsmouth, and I think is Robert still here? Yeah, it was Robert's actual original concept. As I get it, I probably got this wrong, but I think it was. And then James offered to help, and then there was an evolution into what it became. And uh, James and I met. Actually, it was so fortuitous. I was going to drive up the morning of the concert and then drive back after the concert, 7 hours each way after being there all day. That was a bad plan, but I would have done it. But it's like, that probably wasn't the smartest thing in the world. But James happened to have an extra bed in his room, so he offered for me to stay there. And that was a godsend, really. Gave me a chance to get a few hours sleep each night, which was great. Just enough to get me through, right? And I was pretty fresh in the morning, ready to go the day of the concert. That made, I think, all the difference for me, really. I was able to keep the gas was still in the tank all day long. And what a great guy too, James. We got in their room and, you always, for those that aren't used to sharing hotel rooms, you never know what you're going to get. And James was a great guy. He stayed there. I think we're mutually respectful of each other's space and everything was great. So, Larry, once again, yeah, I think that, I'm so glad I got a chance to talk with you. See, that's what I like. I like really getting together with people and just chatting, getting to know you a little bit. Now, there's no guarantee I'm going to remember your name the next time I see you because I barely am able to remember my own name. But yeah, you do great work, James. Thank you for letting us, putting us in touch with that. And thanks for letting me, I showed it on here too. Michael Troy, this is the quintessential difference. Yeah, it is. Her Angelina's genuineness as a person is, I mean, that almost makes me cry. Because how many people do you know that are actually genuine? How many people do you know that you believe and honestly believe that they are genuine? Some put it across that they're genuine, but then there's nothing worse than somebody that you thought was a genuine person, and then you experience their fall from that grace, if you will, or that pedestal. And it's a shame that people that of genuine character are they stand out. We should all be that way, but the ones that really are fairly rare to in a flawless way. So hopefully Angelina will be able to get through this next decade and maintain all that. It's going to be tough, but I think she's got a rock solid family, and I think she's going to get through it just fine. Yeah, James, that video is anything you do. I remember I told you early on. I said you got an eye, man. You got an eye for this stuff. You also have the patience to pull it off, and uh, you showed me some of your editing work. What you go through to get to where the final result is, and it's just it's unbelievable. Yeah, Robert got a chance to talk with Anthony, the music director that played on stage, and he had a checklist of 50 items between the first performance and the second performances that they had to work on, and that guy was right on top of his job. And whoever was on the board, the mixing board, I think he directed that. He had a microphone and a earpiece. He was directing that as he was on stage performing too. And Billy Vasquez, thank you for the comment. 18 years old and already a stellar performer. Yeah. She'll just get better, as she gets more used to the environment and all that. Robert Byron says Rob Christie put the band together. Yeah, well, I think out there you can draw from a lot of people that are really, really good at what they do as far as instruments and so on. I think you got a vast pool of resources to pick from. How you pick the right ones for the right performers. Well, that's probably a skill, I would guess, all on its own. That's probably why Rob Christie is probably pretty good at that, because it seems like he is. All the ones I've seen him put together, they seem to really work well. Yeah, Paul Wagner. Constant and never-ending improvement. She's always trying to tweak things for the better. Yeah, Carrie. If they just took the first song, "Diamonds Are Forever," if they just took that out on the road, yeah, I think that just the high level of what they did there was amazing. The difference between Portsmouth and here, Portsmouth, it was like a dark just a plain background sort of, and here it's like a Hollywood production. I mean, it's completely different, and noticeably the sound was way better, more even. Um, the lighting was better. The whole thing. Throw in a few people, trombone, sax, and just a clarinet, and the background singers. You hardly ever actually heard them, but they were there and they added just a little bit, at the end of Angelina singing a phrase or whatever they call it. And she gets to the end, and then you hear them come in with just a little bit at the end, right? And it's like, man, I'll tell you what, this has stepped up a lot of notches from Portsmouth, and I thought Portsmouth was heaven, man. So I thought it couldn't get any better than that. But we all know Angelina can do it. Like I said, walking through a parking garage, doing a selfie, singing a song, and knock us dead with just that. Playing that piano in the park near her home, those songs, just outstandingly beautiful. She doesn't need a lot of stuff, but man, when you got it, oh baby, she comes out in that gown. It was like you could hear hushes and oohs and ahs when she came out in that gown, that black gown with the mirror things on it. And then she came out later with the white one on. And it's like, yeah, she's just let's face it, she's naturally a beautiful, inside and out young lady, and she's statuesque and she's impressive, just herself. And then the way she carries herself is so genuine and so nice and so loving and so kind. And she also carries herself with elegance. And so her presence sort of, it demands attention only because she's different from everybody else, I think. Not many people try to even go for this look. Nowadays, it's all trashy and big holes in your pants and I don't know the other stuff they do. Let's not talk about it. But it's it's extraordinary. Yeah, Billy Vasquez says as a studio guitarist for 50 years and recording with many vocalists, she's unequivocally headed for stardom. No auto tune, no voice manipulation, a real deal. Yeah, I mean that's the other thing I think that people miss is that uh, Angelina is true to her music and to herself. She doesn't want auto tune and all that stuff. She did do something in these performances that I found a little surprising, but it wasn't bad. Well, she did have a backing track for parts of a couple of songs, I think, where then the band kind of, some of the band members, the guitarists and so on, were also in there. But she doesn't usually use backing tracks. And I'm not saying it was a bad thing. It seemed to blend in very seamlessly and very nicely with what was going on. But I don't know why she did that. I did notice that some of the band members left the stage at that time. Maybe it gave them a break to go get a drink of water or whatever else. I don't know. Maybe that's why they did it. But it didn't hurt anything. It just surprised me a little bit because wasn't expecting it, I guess. But might be a lot of people that didn't even notice it because it was very seamless. Okay. Robert Palmer says that. Doug, thanks for stopping by, buddy. Harvey wrote all the charts and put together the show in 2 weeks. Imagine how good this would be as time continues. Yeah, that's a good point too. When you watch the show like this, how good it is. It was put together in 2 weeks, the whole thing. That is amazing. You would think you'd need months and months of practice. It all started with their grandmother. She is. This is from Larry. It all started with their grandmother. She is the rock of the family. Yeah, no doubt. And Robert Palmer. Yes, Billy. It's all good, man. Marshall Wolf. Has anything been said by the concert went as critics say anything about it? You know what? I haven't heard anything about critics. I haven't even looked or tried to find a resource for that, but maybe I'll do that later as I catch up with all my other stuff after coming back from the concert. Troy says almost all contemporary artists have sort of tuning and manipulations. That's true. And Angelina doesn't have that. She doesn't want it. She won't have it. And as a matter of fact, in the Portsmouth concert, uh, she was adamant that whatever it is was bothered her. She said, I only sing live. So it's like, yeah, she's not having that kind of stuff. And Marcia says, I hope she plays there again, and she should. I wouldn't be surprised if at some point she did. I don't know that she'll ever have a residency there because I think Angelina likes diversity. She likes to get out and go different places and meet other people. I think she enjoys that part. So we'll see. Marcia Wolf, Adele's not performing for a while because she got really sick. Yeah, I actually she's at Caesar's Palace, and I don't know if you guys saw the video or not, but I did a live. I was walking around some of the hotels and stuff, and I got a shot of the poster for Adele in Caesar's Palace. I was in Caesar's Palace for a few minutes, and yeah, she's not there. She needs to step and continue performing. That would be so cool. But Angelina is that good. That would be so cool. But Angelina is that good with a question mark. Oh yeah. I wish her concerts would continue. The band was excellent. Marsha again. The band was excellent. They should stay with her all the time. Yeah. Well, I think Bob asked one of the band members, maybe the director, if they were going to be her permanent band, and he said, "I sure hope so." So we'll see how that works out. That's the kind of band she needs. Yeah, that is the kind of band she needs. It's a very versatile group. And yeah, it sounds great. Absolutely. And then Robert's answering, yes, Marcia. So I hope one day Angelina gets to do a PBS special. This is Bernie Scott. I would really showcase her variety and spread her talent. Yeah, there actually were film crews there from the Norwegian TV station filming stuff. You want to know how I know that? Because I was talking to somebody and I had my back to the room, if you want to call it that, and they were right behind me, not probably 20 feet, filming, talking to Angelina, and I never saw them. I never saw them there, nothing. And by the time I got done talking with a few people I was talking to, imagine this, they were gone. They came, set up, did the thing, filmed it, and then left, and I never saw. I was within 20 feet. Maybe I could have said hello to Angelina. I've missed out on so many opportunities to meet her. I've still never met her, but maybe someday. And that Norwegian TV station, by the way, they're the quality of their videos. It's simple, clean, but crystal clear. All of it. Marcia, Tommy, how we doing?
Stevie.
Hey, I'm live streaming right now. You're on Global Network, okay?
Wow.
So, got anything you'd like to say to the fans?
God is love.
There you go. God is love. So there's our message for everybody from Tommy. This is my best friend, and he took care of my dogs when I was gone, and my dogs love him too. So that's all good. Okay.
All good.
Yeah. Can I call you back in a few minutes?
Sure.
All right. You probably don't want to hang around on the phone that much while I'm talking to everybody.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Okay. All right. Thanks,
Bye.
Tommy. Bye-bye. So says, yes, she's stunning. Absolutely. Yes, she is. She's a class act. Absolutely, she is. This is all from Marcia. Then we get down to Doug. Miss Angelina, 3 barefoot princess from Oslo, the Emerald Pearl of Norway. Yeah, that's from Doug. RW, the music for Unchained Melody, which was a backing track, was beautiful. Yeah, it really was. Straight from the Nobel Peace Prize concert. It doesn't get any better than that. That Cork Orchestra is great. She used it as a lead into the Unchained Melody. Yeah, I think you're right, Garrett. I think the instruments and some of the, like the guitars, I think they kind of started to blend in after it got started. Bernie, she could do the tiny desk, but then forget it. And she could do a special just on her parking garage. Yeah, she really could, Mike. Marcia says she's the boss and she'll do whatever suits her. Absolutely. When it comes to music, she is the boss. Yeah, Troy must have been a busy 2 weeks. Yeah, think about it, right? The rehearsals, the gelling of the team, that all that comes into play. As good as Angelina is, you still got to work with a team, and they got to know you to a certain degree. The one thing in this concert where she missed her where she was supposed to come in, and she said, I missed my spot or whatever she said. And then they circled around to get, so she could slide in. Even that, that takes, the band has to be alert, man. They got to know what's going on. They got to know where to bring it back around, right? Otherwise, you don't just stop and then start over again. Then that really looks bad, right? She said she just wrote that song, Marcia says. Yeah, she did. She's a genius. Yeah, she is. I agree. I don't know. I'm not a person who could probably put the stamp on somebody that they're a genius because I'm a carpenter, but I agree that I believe that she is a genius. Harvey gave the band the charts and told them to memorize them and not bring them to rehearsal. There you go. There's some pressure. I can't bring them and cheat. I gotta know this stuff. Douglas. Yeah, Douglas, you're a great promoter, man. You ought to see if you can get the job being her publicist, okay? She ought to be on 60 Minutes. That'd be a great story. I think she should be on there. Larry Ward. Heard there may be 4 more concerts this year. Don't know locations. Yeah, well, that's good. Dean Capal, that'd be a couple every couple of months, another concert, right? Dean Capal, hi, Steve. It was good to see you at the concert. Angelina was spectacular as expected. Absolutely, Dean. Her story matches the program, 60 Minutes. Yeah, pretty much. Robert Palmer. Bye, Troy. Take care. Oh, Troy, are you leaving? Okay. God bless all. Good. Okay, it sounds like you are. See you later, Troy. Thanks for stopping in, buddy. Las Vegas Mound. I would have liked to have seen an Elvis impersonator open for from the shadows, saying he was back in the building. Maybe accompany her with Viva Las Vegas before exiting the stage. That would have been funny. Uh, Angelina doesn't really have a lot of funny in her stuff, but that would have been funny to see that. Uh, Bernie Scott, Jimmy Fallon might be a fun show for AJ. Yeah, really, any of them, really. I think Angelina would adapt to any environment, really. RW, Steve Ackerman said a Norwegian reporter based in LA interviewed him about the concert. Yeah, they did that out there in that we had a meet and greet area out by the sports book, and that's I guess that's where that was happening. Carrie, when is her album due for release? I don't know. I don't know that I haven't heard anything on the album. Douglas, right on, Bernie. Great idea. Bernie, right on, Mike Asher. Doug, Miss AJ, mine is to a new Apple computer. Others are like Windows 95. There's no equal here. Yeah. Angelina seems to be head and shoulders above the crowd on so many levels. It's not just one thing, it's all the things. Oh, Carrie says they wouldn't disrespect Elvis by having an impersonator. Carrie, the whole world's full of Elvis impersonators, but maybe they wouldn't want one on the stage where Elvis performed. I can understand. Yeah, I can see what you're saying. Don't respect the shrine. Don't disrespect the shrine. And that goes along with what I was saying about the importance of her playing there. This is such a, this is a moment, man. She just got off the stage where Elvis performed for 7 years. Our little girl. And everybody's worried about she's not being promoted properly. She's doing things that people that have been in music their whole life will never have the opportunity to do. She's doing it. Okay. So yeah, maybe in some way she's not getting all the wild publicity and all that kind of stuff, but maybe that's not a bad thing, because at some point, you know how it is, that these people get really famous and then they can't leave their house without a throng of paparazzi and people out there trying to keep track of you and all that. Maybe doing it this way, it's a little bit less abrupt, that instant fame kind of thing, and it gives you a chance to ease into it a little bit. I don't know. I'm just speculating. I don't know anything about it, but I do know this. Whatever Angelina and her family have done so far has worked beautifully and masterfully, and they, like I said earlier too, I'm sure they don't know every aspect of what it's going to take to go to the next step, like having a publicist and having, I don't know, maybe they hire advertising companies. I don't know what they do to promote people like this. You got to get an agent that has the right connections and all that, right? There's so many players involved in getting to that next level or a higher level. I don't think they can do that all themselves. They might not have the contacts to do it. Maybe they do, though. I don't know. What do I know? And maybe they've decided to take this methodical approach and build to a crescendo at some point in time. I don't know. Rather than going for a big splash and then let's get her out there right now, then have her have to deal with all the stuff that comes with that. I don't know. I'm just speculating. I'm just throwing it out there, okay? Because we know that there have been some people that like they get on AGT or something like that, and next thing you know, they're everywhere, right? We've seen that. And then we've also seen that sometimes there's after effects of that, or where it's maybe too much too soon. Like kind of like a lottery winner. You win the lottery, and 4 years later you're filing bankruptcy. You if you earn it and appreciate the process of getting there, I think you appreciate the success more, and you take better care of it than you would if you all of a sudden just get it on you. It was too easy, maybe. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there for what it's worth. Las Vegas bound. I would have liked to have seen an Elvis person. Okay, I already read that. I better not read it again. That's causing. It would have been funny though, actually, when you think about it. Billy Vasquez, 2 weeks to set up a show is tight. I'll bet you. You need 2 to 3 shows to clean up and gel with each other. Yeah, you do. You need time. That's for sure. You got to know what the other people are thinking and doing, and that takes a little time. There's no substitute for time. Billy, what they did in a half an hour was insane. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that in between the first concert and second concert, 50 things, 50, 50, okay? They had to work on. MJ plays chess, others play checkers. That's from Doug. Think about it. I was in the 8th row, but I swear she looked me straight on. Yeah, that's what she does. And that, see, if when you go to the concerts, if you can get close, because that's where you get that, you get that sense of things, and it's like it's incredible, actually. I'm not a big believer in hocus pocus, but I'll tell you what, she has something, and I don't believe it's hocus pocus. I believe it's her genuine spirit and soul that she's able to somehow send out there to touch people. RW says this is a where is it? This is a marathon for Angelina, not a sprint. Yeah, long-term planning rather than I got to have it now sort of thing. She's lucky that her family seems to have the resources to pull everything off without any kind of a struggle. I think some people are hungry too. They're hungry for money and fame and all that because they don't apparently have what they need to continue on very long. And you can't blame them for wanting to be able to support their what they're chosen to do for their living. But Angelina is coming from a little bit different place. Massimo, how are you, Massimo? A hug to all the wonderful angels and from Italy, and continued love for Angelina. Congratulations, Steve. Beautiful chat. Oh, thanks, Massimo. Thanks for stopping in, my friend. Harvey was talking to the soundboard live on stage. Yeah, that band director did a lot. I don't know what their actual title is and what their job list is, but yeah, it seems like he must have been involved in pretty much everything that was going on. Marcia says, thank God she's got her mother and grandmother and Michael and everybody that is around her protecting her, because the music industry is pretty evil. Yeah. Well, that might be part of why they're not really going for the big splash. Keep in mind they've been doing this stuff for over 10 years. When I say stuff, I mean performing, setting up performances, getting there, all the equipment, all the band members and all this stuff. They've been doing this for 10 years on their own, pretty much, I would guess. My Uncle Mike's the manager, but I think the whole family gets involved. And, getting everything set for Angelina to be there to perform. They've already been doing it for a decade, okay? It's not like it's their first day out of the they just broke out of the barn and here they are. So, yeah, and thank God for them. Yeah, they've been there doing this stuff right along. It's not like they're novice. They are not novice. They probably know as much as everybody. Now, every level may have its own things that you got to be looking for, but she's got her shield around her. This is her shield, her family. And who better? I can't think of anybody. Corky, I am the only one concerned about how much she took on for one evening. Did I hear about? Yeah, it was two concerts with 18 songs at least in each one, and then an encore song in each one. Yeah, so 38 is the right number. And 2 meet and greets in one night. Yeah, they didn't last long, but yeah, it's a lot. Is that sustainable in the long term? Well, there's a balance between trying to promote and get people out there to give the fans what they want, and then trying to lead a life, right? Doug Bennett, 61 watching. Doug Bennett, 64 watching. I got to pull the plug soon, too, I'm afraid. Quirky, the black gown that you wore weighed 45 pounds. You could tell it looked like it weighed, because this is something, too, about Vegas, right? And I'm sure it's their team put this together. There was a guy that came out there a lot. I don't know if you saw it or not, but he came out there a lot and brought her water. Remember, she always brings a water bottle, sets it down, says she's got to get it and all that. There was somebody bringing her cups of water, I assume. It might have been something else, but like orange juice or who knows, coffee, I don't know. But they were bringing her out water a lot, often. And then they were straightening the dress up, moving the train around. So that it would be easier for her to move around the stage. And that actually probably was a great deal of help to Angelina, I would think. Robert Palmer said the dress weighed 45 pounds. Robert would know. Quirky. Robert Palmer, yikes. Yeah, it's a lot. Hit 70 people in here. Wow, that's a lot. Andy Schnell, how are you, my friend? Yeah, it was nice to see you too. I don't think we'd ever really spent any time talking with each other, but it was fun to see you there and get to know you a little bit. Sky on Drek. Happy belated 69th birthday. Just coming from your 2 hour live stream. Oh, thank you. Uh, I came on just to kind of say that I was going to try to catch up with everything. and I'm still here and I don't like to leave, but at some point I'll probably have to. But yeah, hi Sky. Nice to see you on here, buddy. Billy Vasquez. Another quality she has is a high intellectual musician ability. She knows her music theory, substitution, chord and progressions, inversions, and chord extensions. Yeah. You know what I just read there, Billy? I'm a carpenter, remember. 2x4, nail, hammer. That's what I know. Okay. Uh, but I understand what you're saying. I think she understands every aspect of musicality, and including stuff that she may not ever need to know. Is I think she knows everything about the board, the mixing board, what everybody's supposed to be doing. It seems like even little things she kind of catches it. Every once in a while, you'll catch her in a performance. She might glance over at somebody. You know what that glance means? Whatever it was you just did needs to be tweaked a little bit, right? Paul Wagner, Billy. Angelina is used to it. They did the same thing with 2017 Summer Tour. 4 stages within 10 days. First one, Sandford, was disputable. Last performance was fabulous. Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, you learn by doing, right? It seems like most of the performances seem like they were put together kind of impromptu, but uh, sometimes you would never know it. Andy Schnell, that assistant was necessary to straighten on the trade and address. Yeah. And you know what? And I think that was indispensable, Andy, because he also brought her water and stuff on a regular basis. I think that had to be a godsend. Because I don't know if you noticed or not, but the air out there, it's in the desert anyway, but the air out there is a little dry. And I was noticing that about my own throat, that it was getting a little dry all the time. Of course, might have had something to do with the wind fan there in the front blowing all the air through my lungs. Talking constantly. Oli, how we doing, Oli? Working on something, but I'll be lurking and reading as long as I can. Oli, nice to hear from you, buddy. Yeah, James did a great job on the video. Andy, I don't know, you just got here, but James premiered, he did the song Hero from the concert. And you know how James is, he puts out a high quality video. So I actually played it on here, but make sure you stop by and see it if you didn't see it yet. He did an awesome job with it. Got me crying, okay, which doesn't take much these days, especially when it comes to Angelina, okay. Sky on. I should listen to the thoughts and impressions. The concert must have been life changing. Hope she comes to Europe sooner or later. Yeah, I think she'll be around. I don't know when she'll get there, but I think she'll be. She's no stranger to travel in foreign countries. So I think she'll get around to pretty much everybody. Andy Schnell attended an Angelina concert is a must, but it is fabulous to meet so many other angels. The shows had a family feel, and AJ's family there, and so many other angels. Yeah. Andy, that's really a great point, because I said after Portsmouth, it's like you're with so many like-minded, positive people who love Angelina and are there for the joy of the moment, right? Where else can you go and get a feeling like that? I can't think of any place. Possibly, maybe like a sporting event like the Super Bowl, for example. The only problem there is you got people that are rooting for one team and then another team, so you got a separation there. But when we stand up for the national anthem, there's a unity there that's really kind of hard to ignore. I've always said, I tend to get emotional at the national anthem, regardless of who's playing it, just because of the patriotic moment that it is, that we're all Americans standing for the flag, right? And then there was a time when there was a controversy about all that stuff. But aside from that, so when you go to a concert, an Angelina concert, yeah, that's why you're there, is to see Angelina. We're all fans, right? And so we're all of like mind, and we all have a like spirit in a sense. So it's great, and it's really hard to put it into words. took me almost a month to come down out of the clouds after that first concert. And this one, I'm on a high too. I mean, I don't know how long it'll last this time, but Robert Palmer. Harvey confirmed the Nice Boss legend. She worked with him on the charts. I gotcha. So yeah, she's gentle in her need to correct certain things, I guess. It was great to see you again. This is from Dean at the sports book. Andy Schnell. This is Dean too. Oli, hi RW. Hey Ron, great to meet you too. Let me run down through a few more comments. Hello, Andy Schnell. That's from Dirk DeGraw. I'm doing great, Steve. Oli Olsen. That's good to hear, Oli. Andy Schnell, great to see you. Dirk DeGraw, Scion Jack. Hello, Mr. Fast. Thanks for being so fast, putting out your 6 videos. Binge them immediately. Hello, Andy. Hi, y'all. 2 weeks notice, a little bit too tight. Does anyone know why? This is from PA 1189J. I don't know why. I don't know. Hey, Bob Palmer, when you found out that there was only 2 weeks that they were working on this, was there any explanation offered for why it was such short notice? Or maybe that didn't get brought up. Andy Schnell, I will watch any of you. Yeah, Angelina, James Steele's video for sure. Sure, I know you will too. It's a great video. He did his usual great job. We were visiting Mary Beth's mom in Cleveland, so limited time to watch videos. Yeah, I got you. Okay, you got to. If you're there visiting people, you better pay attention to them. Otherwise, they'll get feeling like they're second place. I'm a fan of Michael Asher. I'm a fan of Lofty. What she has done with a massive young fan base is amazing. What is more amazing is Angelina is far above Lofty. Angelina is in for the long game. Yeah, well, there's different approaches to everything, really. And I think for Lofty, I don't know what Lofty's mindset and her goals are, but I'm not sure Angelina, she wants to sing for the whole world, but I'm not sure she craves or relishes stardom and fandom. Well, she loves her fans, but maybe she doesn't crazy about the celebrity aspect of it that much. I don't really know. Maybe that's why they're taking it slow, build up a groundswell rather than a big bam. I don't know. Just a thought. What do I know, right? I'm a carpenter. So how we doing, Phil? Thanks for stopping in, buddy. Miss Legimbo. Hola, Miss Legimbo. Andy Schnell. Miss Legimbo, let's see. I know you probably can't understand me. I don't have the translator up right now. I don't know what to say. I don't know what I can say. I'll be returning everybody's comments over the last 4 days as I get a chance to. Okay, I got a whole bunch and I got to get to them. I did some earlier today. I'll do some more later on. Bernie Scott, Mike Ashler, totally agree. Hey guys, this is from Richard Bourne. Robert Palmer, PA 119J was there a window of opportunity, and boy, did they take it. Okay, there you go. So apparently, maybe because it was the 29th of February, a leap year, maybe they didn't have anything planned necessarily. I find it a little hard to believe, but maybe that's the case, right? Who knows? And it was a Thursday night. It's not like it was a weekend, And maybe the opportunity was there and they just grabbed it. And what a grab. Iconic. Hi, Angels. Gary Sweet. How you doing, Gary? Hopefully you're home safe and sound. Michael Asher. Hey, Richard. Robert Palmer. Thanks for sharing all the great information on the concert review on the Wrapped in a Warm Blanket. Yeah. I haven't seen that yet, Bob. I'll have to watch it. Just for those that don't know Bob Palmer very well, now that he's a celebrity, let me tell you a little bit about him. He's a great guy. He knows sound. He's been around the sound part of music production for a long time. He's also involved with some bands in Pittsburgh and jazz type bands, right? So he knows jazz too. And he's the greatest guy you'll ever run into. So if you ever get a chance to talk with Bob anywhere, feel free to stop by and talk to him. He'll talk to you, and he knows a lot of stuff, and he's a great guy. So that's something to keep in mind. RW from Richard Bowen. Hello, everybody saying hello, hello, hello. So many of you are showing up here. Wow. Yeah, there are people coming and I got to go. Can you guys keep this going while I take off? I got to go to my sister's house. Like, I got a little while yet, but just to let you know it's coming up. So Richard Bourne says there's 64 watching. That's a pretty good number, really, for one of these impromptu, unannounced live streams. Andy Snell, still feeling the sky high. Yeah, me too. Tank Guy, how you doing? How you doing, Tank Guy? Gary Sweet. Hey, Steve, great seeing you. Yeah, it was great. It was great, you know. Richard Bourne, it was great meeting with you in Vegas. Richard and Robert Palmer. Massimo, hey, Douglas, sorry, but it's a flood here and the line comes and goes. Oh, okay. You got a flood there in Italy. Well, stay safe, Massimo. Don't get too close to the edge of the water. Richard Bourne, same here, Robert. Dean, I feel like I met some very special people at the pre-concert meet and greet and at the sports book. It really made the whole effort to be there worthwhile. Andy Snow, the sense I got after speaking with a few who chatted with Sarah was that they are still slow walking her career. They think it allowed free reign. Angelina would burn herself out. Yeah, sometimes you got to know when to put the brakes on, and you don't want to do it too early because then what happens the rest of the time, right? Steve Palmer, Steve, I had a ball hanging out with you and all the angels. You know, that's part of it that's so hard to put into words, but meeting everybody, talking to everybody, being in a group of people that are all there for the same reason. Everybody's loves Angelina, and the joy, the love, the happiness, the like-mindedness makes the experience so great. I know in Portsmouth, I knew I felt that right away, that all of a sudden everybody seems nicer. It's almost like Wizard of Oz when Dorothy is in the house at the beginning and the movie's black and white that falls on into Munchkin Land, and you open the door, it's in full color and everything's different. It's kind of like that in a way because when you're in an environment where everybody's kind of like-minded and so nice and everything, it's unusual, you know, so it's different in the best possible way. And when you talk to people, everybody's so interested in anything Angelina and talking and just getting to know each other too. That's great. I love that, man. I really do. And I sometimes comment and converse with people online, about different things, and I feel like I get to know them, but there's nothing like meeting somebody in person, right? And I'll tell you, it's so great to meet everybody. I hope I can keep doing that. I think for those that just came in, I wanted to explain too. I wasn't able to do live streams in the line of people going in or coming out because the hotel had a strict policy, no live streaming. They also wouldn't let anybody live stream the actual concert, which makes, I guess, some kind of sense probably. But how they could tell the difference between somebody live streaming and somebody taking pictures or a video, I don't know. But they hassled James all night long, and about what he was doing. And I was sitting right next to him, right to his right-hand side. And they came over there and talked to him. And they were saying, you can't film this whole thing. I had my camera right on front of me. I was filming the whole thing. And they never said a word to me. The guy looked right at me, looked at my camera, looked at me again, and never said a word to me. And I was filming the concert as they were yelling at James, about not yelling, but they were saying, warning him that, if you don't put that stuff away, the next time I come to see you, we're going to kind of, I think that's what he said, something like, we're going to take you out back or whatever. I don't know what, how Vegas is. They might dig a hole in the desert, right? So it was, I don't know why they hassle poor James, with all the good quality stuff he puts out. Because they don't know him from nobody, but it's like, leave the guy alone, man. What are you going to arrest him for taking a picture? Jeepers creepers, So that was disappointing. So I wasn't able to do the live streams, which I really like to do. I really enjoy being in that environment and doing that, and trying to capture it for the people at home that couldn't be here. That seems to be, to me, is so real and so raw that it kind of gives you a sense of the experience. But I will say that being able to take the time to talk to people longer, I really like that too, and getting to meet probably more people this way. Yeah, Gary, it was great to see you too, buddy. Dean, it seems like all the angels are bonded together by the Angelina fandom, and we're all interested in spreading kindness and love, and we do that with each other, and it's great. Joseph says the deal was done by her record label and friends. There are a lot of people want to see her doing good. They want a change in music. They have to find her a good steady set of musicians. I think the ones she played with here are a pretty good set of musicians, honestly. The craziness is shared. Yeah. Steve, yeah. You know, when you tell people you're going to Vegas to see this girl sing, you're crazy, okay? Uh when you tell people about her and all that, they think you're crazy. Yeah, maybe we are. I don't know. Maybe it's a good crazy. Richard Bourne, Steve, almost missed this, but the universe is kind. Yeah, well, you know, my security team is right on target here. Okay, the guy across the street is pulling his car out of his driveway. This is a crisis. Okay, he'll be gone soon. They won't keep it up very long. The For those that just came here too, I was yeah. Andy brings up a good point that he knows Steve how he feels the same the way I do. I wish we could spend more time talking to everybody. I really do. I mean, I wish I could talk with everybody. I mean, you could probably tell I'm very shy, and I don't like to talk much. And man, a few words. Yeah, none of that's true. I like talking to everybody, and I like to get to know people. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to remember our conversation later on because I have a really bad memory, but I do like to talking to people and getting to know people. So, Joseph, but there were empty seats. Was both concerts sold out? How much seats were in that place? Uh, the concert hall in its entirety held about 1,600 seats, is my to the best of my ability or knowledge. So what they did in the first concert is uh, there were some seats sold for the balcony, and they near the showtime, I guess, sometime they offered the people in the balcony the seats down below, and there were some scattered available seats. So I know the one fellow I was talking to was ecstatic because he was in the balcony. He wanted to change anyway. Then they offered him a chance to go down below, and he got to be in the second row from being in the balcony. He thought that was just the best thing ever, and I don't blame him too. I would think that too. So they closed the balcony. They brought the people downstairs. I would say the first floor all the way back was pretty full. How many people is that? I don't really know. Okay, but I'm gonna guess from being at Portsmouth and looking out at the crowd and being here and looking out at the crowd, I'm gonna say it was more than 800. Uh, but I don't know exactly how many. The second show, there weren't as many tickets sold, but it made the group a little more close. But it wasn't by no means empty. It was there probably had to be. I'm just going to guess, at least 500 people there, maybe more. I didn't count them, and I don't know, but there was people there. It was by no means empty, and but what was nice about it is when Angelina came out for the second concert, she was visibly more relaxed, visibly like happier, if you want to put it that way, more comfortable. And there were some things that happened that were so endearing and so charming, really. And she talked to the audience in a different way. It was more intimate, closer, like she's one-on-one with you, I just thought the second concert had that a lot more of that in it, which I like. As far as which one was better, they were both great for different reasons, okay? There's no way to say which one was better. But I think the song for song, I mean, they can only get so good and then they're going to pop like a helium balloon. It was just awesome. Yeah, Eddie says up there that there was people talking with Sarah, and they are kind of still slow walking her career a little bit. Yeah, there were empty seats. No doubt there were empty seats in both concerts. But that's, what? It doesn't matter because Angelina, there's no requirement you have to sell out every time you have a show, okay? And a sellout is a kind of an ambiguous term, and I'll tell you why. That concert area that we were in is designed that they can configure it in different ways. So they have these screens that they can move around and stuff like that. So you can move it up so there's only seats 300 people, and you're going to sell out all the time, right? Or you can leave it full span and then see what happens. And that's what they did. So they could have moved the screens up and said it's sold out. As soon as the concert started, they didn't do that either. But that's okay. To me, the important thing is Angelina Jordan, our little barefoot princess, was on a gigantic. I think James Steele said it's the biggest freestanding sign in the world. I think this giant marquee out front for this hotel, the Westgate. She was on this marquee, and it rotated with different pictures on it. Right. Barry Manilow, I think he might be in residence here, but Barry Manilow is on contract to perform here for, it said 2024, maybe the whole year. He's a pretty big name in entertainment and music, right? He's on there. There was a commercial for something else, and then there was another commercial. Then it was Angelina. Great big giant picture of Angelina lighting up all of Las Vegas, okay? Our little girl, that's what happened in real life, okay? There are people that have their entire career, and that's never going to happen to them, ever. There's people that never get there, and guess who's there? Our little barefoot princess, right? And the other thing was, she walked out on the very stage that Elvis performed on. Okay? You think of that. This is one of her great influences in music. She just sang on the same stage that he spent 7 years singing on. And I think it was about 8 months after he left that stage, he was gone, forever. Physically. But, he's always with us still in our hearts and in his music. He's basically an immortal now, because everybody knows the name Elvis and everybody knows, some of the songs. So you think about that, how huge that is. What I just told you, is anybody going to ask if it was sold out? No. Does anybody, there might be people that care and they might ask, but most people, they're not going to ask that question. It doesn't matter. She was there and she performed, and it wasn't empty, and the people who were there got a great show. So some people have asked me if I've seen any comments from critics and so on. I have not. I haven't looked for them. I may come across some. I may go looking for some later on, but I've been a little busy. So I got home and then I came on here, and I'd rather do this than look around for that kind of stuff, honestly. But I will do it because I am curious, like you guys are. Let me scan down through here again real quick. Yeah, so Joseph just did. I hope I answered your question okay. Yeah, Andy. Yeah, he had a little camera that was kind of like in the cup holder of the seat. James did, and he suspects, and it's probably true, that seemed to bother the security guys more than anything else. I guess they didn't know what it was or something. I don't know. So, yeah, they really got hassled him over that. Robert Palmer, they had electronic surveillance all over the casino besides CCTVs. Yeah, well, you weren't getting away with anything there, I can tell you that. PA 1189J, Rob Christie seemed to have a major influence this time. He was out there on stage, and he seemed to be enjoying himself. And he went out later and hung around with people out at the bar and the lounge area. The whole band did, actually. And they were very accessible. You could walk right up to them and talk to them, anybody. They didn't there was no line or anything. It was just a mass gathering, and not a lot of people went up and talked to them, which is what happens sometimes. Maybe they didn't recognize them, or some people don't like to go talk to people like that. It's too much. It's a little too difficult for them. But Bob Palmer was up there talking to him. He got a lot of information. And these guys are just people too, They're really not that much different from us. The only difference is they're used to this environment, this being in a band and all that. And I think a lot of times the band members don't get a lot of attention, individually. You could probably be a fan of a certain singer who has the same band members all the time and not know any of the band members at all over a span of a career. But these guys are just nice guys. They're just regular people. And you talk to them, they answer your questions just like any normal person would answer your question. And Rob Christie, same thing. Seems like he's a down-to-earth, nice kind of a guy. And he was up there having a little fun. Beautiful. To me, because he's such a high-level person in Republic Records, him doing that just ends a kind of we'll call it credibility, if you will, to Angelina and her being out there and performing. I don't know if that's why he did it, but it does lend to that. Let's scoot down the line here a little bit. Yeah, James had a camera. Yeah, he did have several devices. Robert Byron, he did have several devices going once. No, but the funny part is, first of all, we got different information from different people, but they did make a couple of announcements that kind of cleared it up. Yeah, Skyon. Yeah, about Andy's comment. I've been thinking that myself. They've been doing this for over 10 years, moving Angelina's career slowly towards more and more, right? Look at how much she's done already, though. Think about it. 2 Nobel Peace Prize concerts. Same for the, what is it? The who runs Norway? The Prime Minister, I think it is. Performed there. Got recognized as a national treasure. She's performed where? Dignitaries, the Prime Minister of what was it? Japan or South Korea or both, probably. I think she's been everywhere and done all kinds of stuff. And she just turned 18. Now she's singing on the stage where Elvis sang, and she just turned 18. And it's like people, well, we got to get her promoted. We got to do all this. She's already there in a lot of ways when you think about it. Now, she's not well known in this country, that's for sure. So I hope eventually over time, I think that'll cure itself because people will become more curious and she'll be more sought after to do things. But, if they want to slow walk it. I think there's wisdom in that because when people get too much, too soon, too easy, they don't appreciate it. It's better if they work hard for it, then they'll appreciate it and they'll recognize what it took to get there better, I think. I think her family is really smart. They're geniuses too. They've raised her in such a right way that she has a compass within her that's going to point her in the right direction all the time, I think. So I'm not as worried about her as I used to be, but I'm a little worried about her because I'm a grandfatherly type of guy, I guess. Robert Palmer, too many people trying to cheat the game. Yeah, there always is. Andy Schnell. Joseph, the early show might have been sold out or very close. Yeah, that was my impression too, Andy. The late show was sold about 80% full. Yeah, there were some empty seats in the back, but it wasn't that bad. It wasn't like it was only a quarter full or something like that. Paul Wagner, as for Ticketmaster, there were 1,575 seats in the venue. Okay, so about 1,600. Skyon Drax, hey, that's great to hear. Near 100% and 80%. Yeah, but it was by no means empty at all. It wasn't. Andy Schnell, I have to get going. Thanks for the stream, Steve. Spread love everywhere. Andy, I love you, my friend. It was so nice spending time with you this weekend. And great to meet you. Great to talk to you. You're a great guy. Thanks so much for stopping by. Bye-bye, Andy. Was really glad to see Rob Christie on stage and saying a few words on the mic. Good to see him there. He has a way of doing things in a very positive, polished manner. Yeah, he does. He is a polished guy. But he also seems like a really nice guy and a down-to-earth guy. Robert Palmer. Douglas Switzer did precise estimates, and they were close to 900 for each show. Very good. Well, that's good, Robert. Dan Burke. The necklace she had on was sparkling big time. Yeah. Everything in Vegas is meant, they know how to do entertainment there. They know how to get the production, all the production values up. And boy, did they. This was really spectacular. Kyle Fincher, Richard Bourne, it was great to meet with you there, brother. Tell your brother Jason I said hi. There you go. Making friends, making acquaintances, and making probably lifelong relationships, all because Angelina is a great singer and a great person. Kyle Fincher, Richard Bourne, it was great to meet you. I already said that one. Ole Olsen. Ollie. They were shutting down people right in the front of me in the front row. I kind of tried to keep a low profile. They did tell we could record and meet and greet from what I remember. Yeah, they had there was a bunch of different pieces of information about all that stuff. Dean Capel, thanks for the live stream. Richard Bourne, will do. Ali, nothing to criticize about that show. It was 10 times better than Portsmouth. Yeah. I thought Portsmouth was probably the pinnacle, but guess what? It's not. This was. Okay. Robert Palmer, the band people were great. Yeah, the whole thing was actually so much a higher level than we've ever seen. Rob chatted with all the folks at the meet and greets. Yeah, he's a regular guy. Robert gave me a call. Have an idea. Richard Bourne. Robert Byron performed in Brazil. I don't know what that's about. Dan Burke, her whole family was giving her hugs, left stage, and in the conclusion of the performance, wonderful family. My face was leaking. Witnesses, yeah, I know. How does it not, Dan? I know you're a tough guy too, but you're like me. We're tough. We bang our hand with a wrench or a hammer. We're not crying because of that. We'll just try to figure out how to stop the leak. But yeah, Angelina she does anything, and it's just heartwarming and touches your soul. Doug Bennett, Miss Angelina Jordan is taking it at her speed. Her family at home, getting ready now. High school is over, ready for the next level. Above world-class vocalist, absolutely. Bye, Andy. See you later. Yep. JMP Music. Who was the guy helping her with her dress? I think they probably hired him. He might have been some kind of a wardrobe thing or maybe a hairdresser or something. But he must have been there specifically to do that because he brought her. He was very attentive to her all in both shows all night. He brought her water out on a regular basis or something to drink, and then he'd straighten out the train while he was out there. I think that was a great help to Angelina because we've often seen her perform with these gowns where she has to, raise the gowns up to walk around and, there's dragging it behind her. And, it's got to be a matter of concern. And she doesn't want to trip on anything. It's probably hard to walk in those dresses. And that, as Robert said, that dress weighed 45 pounds. So it's no small matter to carry that around all night. But she certainly did look beautiful in it. So, I mean, it was a beautiful dress. But they have that guy there straightening out the train for you and getting it behind you so you can go right or left, whichever direction you want to go, with a lot more ease and comfort. And knowing that the guys moved the train for you, that's got to be a lot off her mind, actually. Let's see. Getting ready now. High school. Yeah, Doug. Good observations, Doug. Double D. Oli, thank you for stopping in, buddy. I got to run soon, too, because my sister's cooking me dinner. Call me late, but never late for dinner, as they say. Skyan, goodbye and good night. Thanks for stopping in, Oli. I spoke to someone who used to work with the Ticketmaster, and he said about 80% of or more of the tickets is considered a great concert sale for new and established singers. Oh, that's great. So we were right in the ballpark. All right. Well, I think I'm going to end this now, guys. I think I don't want to necessarily, but I think I better get ready. If I don't get to my sister's house on time, she'll form a lynch mob over there, okay? I don't want that to happen. The original reason why I started the live stream today is I wanted to tell you I just got back. I got a lot to do. I got a lot to catch up on. I got to get my stuff out here. I don't have a laptop, and I tried to return some comments and stuff while I was out there, and it just wasn't working. I was getting pulled in a million different directions. I couldn't keep my mental track on for anything. So what I did when I got a little while ago today, I started returning comments. I got a couple dozen done. They were 4 days old. I'm starting at the oldest ones and working my way back to the most recent ones. So I'll get those all done. And you guys know my philosophy, right? If you take the time to write me, I'm going to take the time to write you back. I don't use automatic responses. I can have those all done in probably a few minutes if I use automatic responses. I don't do that, okay? It's just my personal choice. No knock on anybody who does, okay? If I get to 1 million viewers and I'm getting 1 million comments a day, I'm probably going to have to do something like that because you just can't get it done, right? But right now, I'm not at that level. I may never get there. Who knows? But I don't even know if I want to get there. I like having this nice group of fans that are all tight-knit and close together. But the thing is that, I come from a generation where if somebody gave you something, you wanted to give them something back, of equal or, kind of equal value. And even if they didn't want it, even if they gave it to you and they don't want anything in return, it's still like you owe them now, okay? That's the generation I came from. And sometimes you needed to accept whatever they were giving you because you had a need and they could fulfill it. But you still want to make sure you get reciprocal and give them back of equal value something, if not the same thing. So when you write me a comment, I'm going to write one back. Me, nobody else. I'm the only one here that can even get close to typing. And I feel obligated to do that. And if I don't get it done, I feel a pressure to get it done. So it'll get done. If I don't get to y'all today, I'll get to y'all tomorrow. I'll spend more time tomorrow doing it. So that's where we're at. And no, Doug, my sister's not an Angel fan. I can't talk her into it. I wish she was. Maybe she would understand if she knew. Uh, yeah. Okay, guys. So thanks so much for coming. So many of you stopped in. I can't believe when I do these things, I don't announce them. I can't believe I get so many people watching. I don't know. Sometimes I think it's just going to be me, and then all of a sudden it starts filling up. So I appreciate all you guys stopping by. I got to tell you, the whole concert, the whole experience, everything was just a fantastic time. The only people that didn't have a good time were the people that were on planes next to me I didn't know on the long ride here. They got to hear about Angelina the whole trip, and I don't know whether they liked it or not, but I did veer off on different topics, but I always brought it back to Angelina. Somehow everything relates back to Angelina. I don't get it. So I had a great time. I like talking to people, and I think everything went real well. Yeah, Jim. Yeah, I remember meeting you. I remember you. Huh? You are taller than I expected. Yeah, well, I think I've shrunk a little too, but I'm about 5'11", give or take. And yeah, well, I don't know. I am. I guess I don't know what the average height for a male is. I think it's about 5'9", right? So maybe a little higher than normal. But yeah, sometimes it's funny when you meet people that you've conversed with here like this. When you meet them in person, sometimes you kind of draw a mental image in your mind, but then when you meet them, it's like, is that the right guy? It's hard to tell, right? So yeah, that's why it's also nice to meet people. Uh, by the way, Douglas, my sister is an angel. She's been during the wintertime when I'm laid off from work. She feeds me every Sunday. She feeds me. She's worried I'm not getting enough to eat. So, uh, and you never have to worry about me having enough to eat. First of all, I don't need to eat as much as I do anyway. But uh, I have two dogs to take care of, and they eat when I eat. And believe me, my dogs are not going to go hungry. Okay. Uh, I even said if I croak from a heart attack or whatever, they're welcome to chew on my body until somebody comes looking for me. Okay, they can have me. They can have whatever they want. They're the best, and uh, I think that she does that out of kindness and love, but she would never say that. And I go over and I sit and we chat about all kinds of stuff, and that's family time and that's good time. So it's all good for everybody. And one more thing, she's a great cook. When we had the restaurant, the quick story. When we had the restaurant, our family restaurant, my mother they owned it for over 20 years, and we both were involved in it at different times in different ways. And I used to tell her the rolls are too. You got to proof the dough. So I taught her that, and she proofed the dough. Then I said, then the perfect roll, in my estimation, is golden brown on top, and it's so fluffy that you can't really break it apart from the other rolls. You know the way how sometimes they're stuck together without tearing it apart. It has to feel like feather light when it comes out of there, steamy hot. You stick a little butter in there if you feel it's necessary. You don't need butter when the rolls are like that. They just taste great the way they are. But you put a little butter in there if you want to, and it just melts instantly into the thing. I said, that's a perfect roll. And she also does a little butter. She puts like some seasoning in it and spreads it over the top with a brush. And I said, that's how you do it. And we used to have people come to the restaurant and they would eat a basket of rolls and they ask for two or three more before they got their food. Then I'm taking their phone home in a box, right? Because they were full. That's okay. You got a good product when it happens. Rip your arms off in the wings of the plane. Steve, could you? Steve, get a haircut. Yeah, well, yeah, I hear you. I just might do that sometime soon. Uh, you know what I did? Yeah, I know. I need to make a wig and give it to somebody who doesn't have any hair. Uh, yeah, all great. Steve, fireside chat with AJ's music. Yeah, Yes, yeah, yeah. When I'm going to leave somewhere, I got to look. I should leave at the particular time, right? I have to start that about a half an hour early, so I got my departure routine that I do. Uh, the yeah, yeah, we're all hungry. Yeah, yeah, me too. I'm hungry too. I can't wait to see what she's got for me today. The uh, where was I going? I forget now. It's easy. I forget things real easy. Is that okay? 2 hours plus here, gone by in a few minutes. Yeah, I came on for a few minutes to tell you that I'm going to return all the comments, the replies to all the comments, and I taped the entire first concert. I stopped the videos in between songs so that I wouldn't run out of time on my recording device. Because sometimes it gets to a certain time frame and it shuts you off and you don't know it, so then you miss a portion of a song because you weren't paying attention close enough to the camera. But so I stopped it in certain points on purpose so that the video is in chunks, but it's all runs along consecutively. Okay. And so I want to get that out to you guys. I know everybody else has got all the video out there anyway, but so I'm not first and I don't have anything totally unique, but I do have my where I was sitting is probably a unique position. So hopefully you'll enjoy the video plus my commentary. Some of you like that, and maybe some of you don't. The uh, so I got to do that. Okay, I want to get the comments done. That's going to take a while. There's a lot of comments. Okay, and I think that's why I came on. It's just to tell you guys that I'll be getting all that stuff and clearing it up, and getting all my work done. And James was kind enough to stop by and tell us he had his new video came out, which he premiered, and then I held up the phone and we watched it earlier today on the stream. And you know, you guys are all great. I'm learning the environment. Just reading the stuff and then trying to keep up with it and text back. I'm learning this. This takes some time. And as far as the hair goes, when I went to Portsmouth a week ahead of the concert, I went and got my hair cut and it looked sharp, right? I gave it a week to grow a little bit back because I also liked a little bit of not so structured haircut thing, as you can tell. So this time I said, I don't think I've cut my hair since Portsmouth, to be honest with you. So this time I said, you know what? I'm going to go just like it is. Why? Well, I don't know why. Sometimes I like the look, like in the back and stuff where it almost looks like, what do they call that? There's a name for that stuff. And it is what it is. I mean, I don't know. So lately it looks like it's more, I don't know, coarse. Is that a good word to say? It doesn't feel as light and fluffy as it used to. And of course, it didn't used to be this gray, but it is now. So yeah, it's getting kind of long. There you go. Oh, there's a nice look right there. Oh yeah, that's a beauty right there. That's a nice one. How you guys like that one? So actually, when you have long hair, you can do different things with it. When you have short hair, there's not much you can do, right? Just comb it and let it sit there. So, I like. Oh, thanks, Doug. Thanks, WD. See you later, guys. Doc, thanks for stopping in. Yeah, RW. That's a good point about multiple angles and such. Yeah, any of the creators out there that want my stuff, I'll give it to you. I'll send it to you. I'm not. I think the more we can do for Angelina, the better stuff we can put out, the better she's getting promoted by us to everybody else. And every time a new reactor comes on, it's great because they may have people that have been watching them that don't watch the rest of us necessarily. Matter of fact, a lot of reactors maybe have been reacting to other people or other things, and then they decide to try Angelina, to see how that goes. And so they're bringing a whole new audience with them over to see Angelina. So I don't think any of that's really that bad. Some people said, "Oh, Steve, there's so many people out there. How are you going to keep your subscribers?" And all that. I said, I never did this for subscribers. I never did this for anything other than I love Angelina. I think she's the best singer I've ever heard in my life. And I think the more people that know about her, that, I think it's good because her message is love and kindness. Is that bad? We need more of that. I agree with you, Angelina. We do need more of that. So the more of that we can get out there and keep on top of mind for people, the better. I would love it if somebody said to me, "Hey, Steve, you know what? The other day I was walking into a building and I happened to notice, there's somebody coming behind me, and I held the door open for them. Now, he said, I've done this before in my life, but I don't do it very often. But the reason I did it was because you talked about Angelina, love and kindness. How do we spread one love and kindness? One little thing at a time, maybe a smile to somebody, He said, so I did that. And the whole time I was doing it, I was thinking, I'm doing this because of that Angelina girl, You know how much that does to me, that I had that impact on somebody, a small impact like that. That's amazing. It's amazing that I have that ability to impact anybody in any way. And to do it in a positive way is so much more better and more amazing than anything else. And I'm doing it because Angelina asked me to do it. That's why I'm doing it. Now, I'm the kind of guy that usually holds doors for people anyway. I always have been. But, some people, that's not their nature, And then I'm also the kind of guy that smiles at people. Everybody in Las Vegas now knows my smile, okay? I walk by people, I smile. People like when you're passing, like walking in a crowd. I look them in the eyes, and if they look my way, I give them a little smile. That's all. And it's just nothing. I don't mean anything by it. It's just, it's friendship. It's being nice to other people, okay? And I just, I kind of always been that way anyway. But then when Angelina says the message, you know what? We just need more of that. We don't need people all being all stoic and walking by each other like everybody's a robot, right? We don't need that. We need people to be more interested and concerned about the welfare of other people. And I think that's a very, very, very positive message and a very great message. So that's what I do. Steve, with this hair, you are looking smart like Einstein. Robert Byron. Robert, you know better than that. I'm not smart like Einstein. I do kind of look like him though sometimes. Yeah, this doesn't look like him. This looks more movie star like. Yeah, but this here, yeah. Look at this. Yeah, now we're doing Einstein. See when you got all this hair, you can play with it and do funny things, right? So anyway, maybe it's not funny. Maybe it's just amusing to me. Okay. Sometimes I tell this is an absolutely true story. When I get up in the morning, I peek around the corner of the bathroom door to where the mirror is to see what I'm going to look like that day. Because sometimes it is scary. Okay, guys. Well, it's nice talking to y'all. I got to get out of here. My sister, yep. If I leave in a couple minutes, I'll be on time. And if I leave any later, I'll be late. Steve, you have over 70 people live. I can't believe it, man. You guys are awesome. The Angelina Jordan family is the best. And that's another thing about going to the concerts is so awesome. Getting to meet everybody, talk to everybody, just the aura and the feeling, positivity. We need it. All right, guys. We'll see y'all later. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. And we will see you on the next one. And that's it. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.